Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Football Heritage TV. Spurs don't play for bloody ages. And I'll be honest, it's actually quite nice. Big up to Mark,
Good-
Sheriff. The Sheriff is in town from the Two Mark show. How are you, my man? You good this morning?
All is good, mate. All is good. As soon as I saw the title, you knew I'd sneak on here
I
about
absolutely
a
knew you would
certain
sneak on
manager.
it.
Yes,
Absolutely. I mean, guys,
number
look,
one
this
fan.
morning, I want to talk about, look, obviously, there's, Sky Sports have made a big deal about it, so maybe we should as well. Lots of talk about Pochettino. He's reiterated that he'd be happy. Go on, hang on. So I'm just feeding the puppy. Go on. I don't stop eating. That reiterated that he would come back, and he does have a good relationship with Daniel Levy, which is interesting because for the last 5-6 years, whenever you mention Poch, people say, oh, well, why would he want to work for Daniel Levy again? Poch is saying the opposite to that. So we'll get into that. We'll have a look at what the article says as well. Also this morning, I'm going to show you a video clip in a little bit. I'm going to show you a video clip of what my prediction was before a ball was kicked this season. I want to destroy this rhetoric that I am just negative. I want to destroy this rhetoric that everything I say is just very, very wrong, very negative. And I want to show you how accurate my prediction in the most part has been. And with that, the reason why I'm going to bring that up, I'm going to show you some of the comments that I received off the back of my prediction. And I want to show you how silly some of these people now look. The beautiful thing about YouTube, people, is when these YouTubers put out videos saying their prediction, right? When these YouTubers put out who they think is going to be player of the year, their prediction for the season, where we're going to finish, what cups we're going to win, and people tell them they're positive, that allows them to keep YouTubing that way. Keep saying nice things because it gets people on board. But let's show some receipts, because these receipts show that, hang on, these people haven't been right at all. Whether you think they're better fans because they say positive things, that's on you. But, sorry.
Oh, big up, Stanley. Big up, Stanley.
It's not always true. Guys, let me start. Mark, let me start with you. We'll get to that in a little bit, by the way. Spurs aren't playing, so it's a bit of a relaxed one.
Lovely.
Midweek. But yeah, it is. Do you know what? I used to hate it, international breaks. I actually think this has come at a good time because I think we look worse than I've ever seen us right now. I think we look dreadful.
Yes.
Obviously, Sky Sports had their interview this week with Mauricio Pochettino, who looked very relaxed. He looked happy. And he was talked about not taking the England job, it not being the right time. He talked about USA and the World Cup. And he also reiterated that he would come back to Spurs and that there's no issue with Daniel Levy. Now, Mark, does that surprise you that there is no issue with Daniel Levy? There's my first question.
Well, to be honest, when he left, when he got sacked, one of his first statements when he got sacked is he left on good terms with Daniel and he understood why he got rid of him.
Yeah.
You know, and let's face right, how many times do you think I watched the Sky Sports News thing that come out?
I reckon you know it word for word off by heart.
Possibly. And what was it, the one a few days before that, the Talk Sport one?
Yep.
I watched that at least 3 or 4 times. You know, because to be honest, like Poch should never have been sacked in the first place. We all know that. He wasn't given what he was given. And for the life of me, I don't understand why he has this relationship with Daniel Levy, but good, because he might come back. Good. I want him back.
So let me ask then, I'll come back to you in a second, Mark. Corey, could it be then that the Daniel Levy we all think we know, and he treats managers terribly, and why would anyone want to work for Daniel Levy? Doesn't this, and we've had it all year, which manager, why would Iriola leave Bournemouth to work for Daniel Levy? Doesn't it actually show that, is he that bad? This year you've had Harry Redknapp say he would come back. Pochettino has said he will come back. Maybe, just maybe, Corey, Daniel Levy isn't the devil that we paint him out to be.
potentially. You just got to sit there and think sometimes. I mean, the relationship that the fans had with Poch, the players had with Poch. Under Poch, our players looked the fittest in the league, and under Poch, teams didn't like playing against us. So you got quite a lot of factors there for why Poch was good for us. It's just the fact that we're now staring into the abyss with this manager that we have in charge of us at the moment, aren't we? We want this manager to come back because we need that feel-good factor back from Poch.
I mean, let's caveat this straight away. From my point of view, Poch isn't my number one choice, right? Now, I know that a lot of people can't seem to differentiate a comment of me saying, bring back Poch versus this is the only guy that I want, if that makes sense, right? But we're at the stage now, Mark, where, you know, this current manager, the current incumbent, has done so bad that it makes all of Pochettino's faults look like he's an absolute genius, doesn't it?
Of course. Of course. And to be honest, you've got to remember, Poch did what he did without half the backing and half the players that Ange's had. Like, Pochettino was unfortunate, really. He came in when the rumblings of the stadium were around and the planning was in, and he suffered because we never had the money like we got now. Well, we probably did, but you know what I mean? The revenue wasn't coming in like it does now. And he suffered because we had to move. And I'm not disputing we had to leave White Hart Lane because it simply wasn't big enough to compete. But he suffered. He went 500 and something days without a transfer. You know, and he still got us top 4, top 5, still relatively competing. You know, he basically had one hand tied behind his back the whole time he was here. And look what he done. And look what he done. Well, I went into this on Dan's show last night about Pochettino. And I said, I used to go a little bit back then, but this tells you how good he was. The tickets to go to White Hart Lane back when Poch was here, they were like Rockinall's poop. You couldn't get them. You honestly couldn't get them. There was no chance in hell of you getting a ticket to go to White Hart Lane. Right? And I used to watch most of the games over the pub, whatever. And before, I used to go in there, used to wear my Spurs shirt. People used to be, you don't win nothing, blah, 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 blah. You know, you get battered everywhere you go, rah, 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 rah. Then all of a sudden, when Poch was here, like the Arsenal fans over the pub, the Liverpool fans, the Man United fans, suddenly I found I was getting treated with a little bit more respect. I want the laughing stock all the time, you know? These people, even my mates, were scared to play us. They weren't looking forward to it.
Yeah.
No
one wanted to come to White Hart Lane. No one wanted to come to White Hart Lane.
No. You know that. And suddenly, I was walking in the pub as the big man, chest out everywhere. Come on, then, let's bring it on. You know, I remember back in the day when I was in the pub, when we were playing Arsenal, I was head out the back somewhere. You know?
Yeah.
I was like tucked in the corner and hoped no one would see me. You know, but when Poch was here, it made me proud to be a Tottenham fan, you know? I could go out with my Spurs shirt on without people taking a piss out of me. You know?
I mean, there's only 3 managers in the past that have really done that for me. One was Yol, one was Redknapp, and one was Poch. The other managers in between really didn't excite me. I mean, Jose and Conte are winners in their own sense, but I mean, exciting managers that come out, protect their players and don't sound arrogant, you know? With Ange, it's just arrogance.
They're there for different reasons, Corey, aren't they? Like, if you look at a Redknapp's a long-term tenure manager. You know, Redknapp will... You're not bringing in Redknapp because you're saying this guy's going to win a title. If Poch was a relatively young manager who'd done very well in Spain, lower level with Espanyol, then done very well. It was Espanyol, wasn't it? Then done very well with Southampton. So again, when you're bringing in those types of managers, you're not bringing in this kind of it's like the circus that comes with Jose or Conte, right? Not always in a bad way, but with Jose and Conte, when people said, "Oh, give them 4 or 5 years," when have Jose and Conte had 4 or 5 years? Like
never.
Maximum 2 years. They say that they go.
Never.
And this is why, Corey. This is why when people say to me, "Oh, but you didn't want Conte," yeah, because I said from day one that he joined, Corey, said this isn't the guy you say, "Go on, here's 4 to 5 years, sort us out." This is the guy. Conte should be the guy you bring in. I know Mark won't like this, but the year we finished second under Poch and we saw that Poch couldn't quite get over the line, that's when you bring in a Conte.
Yeah.
That's when you bring in a Jose. I know, sorry, Mark, but when you've got that squad that's challenging, that's where you bring in those winners that do the extra 5-10 points a season. You don't bring them in when you're 14th in the Premier League table. That's where you bring in a coach. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yes.
What's good for Poch is not only is he a great manager, he's a fantastic coach. And like I said, under Poch, our players were the fittest I've ever seen our players be. There were hardly any injuries under Poch. And you compare that to Ange, where these players are running to the ground, it looks like their hamstrings are like holding on by fibers at this stage.
Are you going to eat that dog or like?
Come and live with me for a bit, Stanley.
I'll wait till he fills out a little bit. But
yeah,
look, it's true, right? Listen, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. I was very much of the opinion that at the time Poch went, I think he needed to, for all parties concerned. I felt that because of the last year of form he'd had, because of the whole Champions League debacle, because of not being backed, I felt that at the time he needed to go. You know, sometimes when you're going that way, very rarely do managers suddenly go, right, stop, right? It's very difficult to, I know that Ben guy said hit the bottom of a V and go up. Very rarely does that ever happen in football. But what I would say is what Poch is a wonderful coach. I can only imagine what he would do with Udogie, Archie Gray, Bergvall, Odegaard, like these younger players, and even the players that aren't even that old, even the Poros, the Mickey van der Vens. This guy would coach I've said it before, people call me delusional. If Pochettino had this squad, tell me a reason why we couldn't be 4th, 5th, 6th fighting for Champions League.
Well, we would be. We would be. There's no shadows of a doubt, right?
Agreed.
Now, if I can, I'm going to defend Pochettino because I didn't want him sacked in the first place, right? Pochettino he told the truth, but he made you knew the end was nigh when he come out and started saying things like, we've got the great big mansion, but we got no furniture.
Yeah.
He was basically sending subliminal messages that we needed to sign players. Poch got us that close to winning a bloody league title, and Daniel Levy was just convinced or satisfied with the top 4 money, the Champions League money coming in every season. Every season, the Champions League money was guaranteed to be in, and we were building the new stadium, and Daniel Levy was satisfied with that. He would not give him that little bit more, just that 2 or 3 extra signings to get us to be champions. The year Leicester won it and the year Chelsea won it, we could have won them easily, because we had by far the best team in the league, by far. And there's no one can even, anyone says that, I will argue till I'm dead that we never had the best team in the league. We had the best first starting 11 by a million miles. And you look at what Liverpool done after we destroyed them 4-1 at Wembley under Poch. By the way, let's get that in there. Under Pochettino at Wembley, when we beat them 4-1, they went out and signed Alisson and Van Dijk, more or less right after, and that transformed them.
They went and got Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, didn't they? They got a top goalkeeper, top centre
and we never done that.
Yeah,
and we never done that.
I mean, whether it was Wembley, more so White Hart Lane, any home game, I was like, yes. Yeah, 3
points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And the thing is, with Poch, what I wanted to do with Poch was I wanted to hear what he had to say after games. I wanted to see what he did before games. Now, so for example, right, I've got Sky Sports News on in the background, right? So at the moment, I can see Chris Boyd talking about Scotland, right? Normally, if I see a Spurs manager, I want to hear what they got to say. I'm not saying Chris Boyd's the Spurs manager. I'm not that delusional yet. I'm not lost my marbles.
Not that desperate.
No, I'm not that. Well, actually, get Chris Boyd in.
Yeah.
When I see Ange is on the screen, I look up and go, oh, what is he waffling about now? And then give it an hour, I'm getting memes sent to me in WhatsApp groups, people sending round, oh God, have you seen what he said now? And I get it, right? I get that people say just back the team, but I don't resonate, Corey. I do not resonate with this manager at all. Not one part of this manager do I look at and go, he's misunderstood. He's likable. He's a good manager. He talks well. I don't think he does anything well, any aspect of the job. Forget the management side, the interviews, the press conferences. I just can't enjoy it. But I did enjoy it when Harry talked. I did enjoy it when Martin Yule, when, yes, we played well today. And yes, I loved it. Loved the big Martin Yule.
Deep, raspy voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Drew you in.
I can't with this guy.
No. He drives me insane.
I just want to say, but Ronnie, see, again, this is somebody, the difference between Ronnie and most sane people is you don't win a season with 11 footballers.
No.
This is what you don't understand, Ronnie. If you ever watch Tottenham under Poch, by end of March, the players would start to burn out because we didn't have the players to rotate. We didn't have squad players. You can have a great 11. If you do not have 5, 6, 7 players beneath that to be rotated, look at Liverpool. Yeah? Liverpool can not play Trent Alexander-Arnold for 5 games and Joe Gomez comes in and slots in there at right back. They cannot play McAllister and Harvey Elliott goes in there and plays centre mid. The forwards they've got, the options. For me, should he have got over the line? I do think, yes, he should have. But when you're saying it's a crime, come on, man. One hand tied behind his back.
You've only got to look at the subs we had on the bench. People like Eric Dyer. What's his bloody name? Skip and that one. It was Skip here. Skippy. Was he in this? I'm trying to think of some more. Who was our backups?
Anyone? Sorry, could you write that in English, Petro? And you bring wrong. Levy need to go. I've never ever said Levy doesn't need to go. Has anyone on this panel ever heard me say I want Levy to stay?
No.
I think we've all said the opposite.
No.
I think we've all said the opposite, and it'll be seen when we're all at the protest on April the 6th.
It's mad. The funny thing is, I know what this is about. I know what that was about, by the way. That's because I dared ask the question, maybe Levy's not as bad as we think he is with these relationships. And that means I want... People have... Football fans have got that. Football fans could be in a forest, right? And they can see the one tree in front of them and none of the trees that go on for miles behind them. Do you know what I mean, guys?
Yeah.
It's like, look at all the trees. I can only see one. They take everything so literal. They've got no understanding that my job as a host is to ask some thought-provoking questions. Like people like that just crack me up, man. Poch ain't the same Poch we had. His stint at Chelsea ruined him.
No,
why?
Definitely not.
I know Chelsea fans that said that they would have Poch back because of...
Yeah, exactly.
It may have gone like this and then a little bit with Chelsea, then it went like that with Chelsea, and then they started to steady out. And
Poch,
Chelsea fans.
Poch at Chelsea was basically like Poch at Tottenham. He had one hand tied behind his back. Poch at Chelsea had one hand, but I'll be honest with you.
That's an Ange person, Mark. This is what the Ange
I didn't read it. I didn't read it. I looked.
The copium of the Ange fans now is to discredit Poch. Now, by the way, you guys know Poch is not my number one choice.
He is
Poch is not my number one choice. But if you rang me, and I know I will get a phone call one day from Mark. If you rang me one day, Mark, and went, check out Sky Sports News, Poch is the new manager, I'm over the moon. That doesn't mean he's my first, second, or third choice. These people are, again, he betrayed us and went to our bitter rivals.
Oh, managers move on.
No, he didn't. No, we
What?
didn't.
He didn't do a Sol Campbell on us, mate. He was
Oh
sacked.
my. By the way,
No.
he's a manager. Managers move. Sorry, Carlo Ancelotti. Look at the clubs Ancelotti's managed. Does that mean he's betrayed
Juve.
all those clubs? When William Gallas played here, did anyone care that William Gallas had played for Arsenal and Chelsea?
No,
Or was it
I
just
saw a
No.
quality centre back.
just a good defender?
I saw
Yeah.
a quality centre back, man. I didn't see all we played for the scum.
You know, it's not as if. I mean, put it this way, right? Well,
Madness,
we've had loads of ex-Chelsea players come to us, but unfortunately, we never get them at the peak of their powers. They're always nearly finished, aren't they? When they come to us, so you think of all the ex-Chelsea players that we've had come to us, but they're over the top of the hill and they're virtually finished. We don't get them in their prime, you know.
Mark,
So
let me ask you: do you remember? You'll both remember this, right? Remember when we drew 4-4? It was Harry Redknapp's second game. We went to the Emirates and we drew 4-4.
Yeah,
of course.
Yep.
I was in the
remember
pub.
11 in that one.
Do you remember who scored the goal from about the halfway line or just inside?
David Bentley.
Right.
Bentley.
Yeah, it was Bentley.
Did everyone celebrate David Bentley's goal?
I did.
That put us 1-0 up, and I
did.
I know exactly where I was. Right.
Hang on, the point I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Everyone celebrated David Bentley's goal. Where had David Bentley come through as a kid?
Arsenal.
Like, what are we? These people are so like. Honestly, the children in this fan base is just mental.
Honestly,
Mental.
I wish you'd prepared me for this. I've still got a Tottenham shirt upstairs with Bentley 40 written on the back of it. Bentley from 40 yards.
Well, the one what mostly gets me with this is people don't really do their research on some of these players. Are just, yeah, he's shit. Oh, he came from here. He's come from there. Oh, he's a reject from this. It's like, no, we've taken good players and we're trying to make them play. That's the idea of a player. Play football.
No. I mean, like, how anybody... Well, put it this way. If my opinion is, right, if anybody's going to run Poch down in this thing, you're not a Spurs fan. Honestly, what that man did for our club is, all right, yes, I accept. We never won anything. But you got to remember the circumstances he was here under. The move in the ground bit. You know, when we was, you know, going 518 days, whatever it was, without a transfer. No one has ever had that, you know, and he got us to the brink.
Yeah, look, I mean, Dan, big up, man. But Dan, listen, I'd rather Iriola. This isn't. This was purely about if you woke up and saw that Poch was manager, right? How over the moon would you be right now, Dan, compared to the fraud we've got in charge? That was the point. With this owner, with Poch as manager, right? Year one would have been, right, let me get my team together, let me get my shape, let me see who I'm going to keep. Year two would have been, right, look at this well-oiled machine. And by the way, for all these people that don't go and do their homework, again, I keep saying this for all the people who haven't, not you, Dan, but all the people that haven't done their homework. Pochettino's time at Chelsea, the first 10 games wasn't very good, right? The last 28 games of the season, by the way, that's a bloody long time, isn't it? 28 games.
Mm-hmm.
28 games is what we've played now, right? 29 games. It's what we've played this season so far. In the last 28 games under Chelsea, only 2 clubs got more points than Pochettino.
Yeah.
And last year, he had the most injuries in the entire league, right? By a mile. There was one game last year where Chelsea had 16 footballers injured, right?
Yeah.
28 games. He was the 3rd highest point scorer. So this revisionism, what he did is what the fans are deflecting from Ange. Ange started like that for 10 games and then it's just been downhill. Poch started slowly like that and then done what he did at Spurs. Because he coaches them. He gets the shape into them.
He's also got a good background staff as well, backroom staff for his coaches.
Chelsea. because this is
Honestly,
Chelsea.
honestly, is this bloke
This
even
guy,
a Tottenham
no
fan?
more, Matt. No more. Matt.
Yeah.
You're turning into an idiot now.
Is he even a Tottenham fan?
He's not. I don't think he is now. I think he's
No.
one of them Ange fans. It's just getting silly.
Oh, is he? Oh, all right.
getting
He lives in
silly.
the outback.
I think. Listen, my bad. I apologise, everyone, because I keep bringing up the. I keep bringing up his posts, but I just love it how he can sit there all season and absolutely back Ange when he has failed unequivocally.
Goodness.
Right? Let me show you all. This is Pochettino's 5 full seasons at Spurs. So Poch did 5 seasons and a quarter. You would say a quarter, maybe, right? Sure, but again, Petro, the difference is people like you, again, use my analogy, right? You can see one tree, you can't see the woods. I love it when people say this. I have never said that Iriola coming in, Glasner, Poch, I've never said that anyone comes in and suddenly we start winning loads of trophies.
No.
But what I have said is those managers come in and give us an identity. Those managers come in, give us a team, like Mark said, that we go, I'm actually quite proud to watch this team play. This is what Ange doesn't. So, yes, when people say, doesn't matter who we get in if Levy's still here, of course it bloody matters. Levy's been here through Redknapp's really good tenure. Yoel's good tenure. Yeah? Poch's good tenure. Now, add all those years together. What, 5.5 from Poch, 4 from Redknapp.
Oh, 11, isn't it?
3 or whatever from Yoel. You've got about 12 to 13 years of that tenure that was under Levy where we actually look decent. Now, I'm not giving that credit to Levy.
No.
But to say it doesn't matter which manager we have while Levy is here, I feel like this is really short-sighted. I feel like it's really short-sighted from fans.
I said on Dan's show last night that if we win a trophy, which we will eventually, the law of averages says we've got to eventually, it's not because of Levy, it will be in spite of Levy.
Of course of him.
Which is what Poch did, Harry and all that. They made us good in spite of Levy. Not because of him. It wasn't because of him. Nothing that happens at Tottenham is because of Mr. Levy, because he's not interested in winning anything. He's just interested in the money and the tills ringing.
Yeah.
Like Poch took us to the brink in spite of Levy, not because of him, in spite of him. You know, and you got to remember, Poch was here probably at the worst time when we were moving ground and all the money was important for the new ground. 518 days. 518 days without signing it. It's still a world record to this day.
Yeah.
3 transfer
You
windows.
look at the players
Isn't
that
Ben right here?
made better. Yeah.
Isn't Ben right here? Like all these fans talking about winning and winning trophies.
Yeah.
At the moment, we can't string 3 passes together as a football team.
Exactly.
Surely you've got to look. Let's use on a lesser scale. Like, and sorry if Chloe's in the chat. Friend of mine, she's Palace fan. Look at on a lesser scale. Look when Glasner took over at Palace, right? Under Hodgson, it was all a little bit hit and miss. They were struggling, blah, 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 right? I'm not saying Hodgson didn't have some good times there, but look what Glasner's done for Palace. Now, Palace fans, listen, I take this back if they win the FA Cup. Palace fans aren't sitting there at the beginning of a season going, we can win trophies. But I reckon if you speak to most Palace fans, I don't know, by the way, but I reckon if you speak to most Palace fans, they're going to look and go, what Glasner's done for us in just over, what has he been there, a year, 18 months now, maybe? Mm-hmm. He's given them an identity, right? They don't lose as many as they used to. Mm-hmm. They've got one of the best defences in the Premier League. And they've got something they can be proud of. Now, Palace know that they're never going to be a team that go, right, in the summer, we're going to spend 300 million and challenge for a title. But
Champions
Palace
League,
will go to games thinking, we've got a good setup here. We've got a good team unit. We've got a good ethos. We watch Spurs games going, this is a mess. Like, this is a calamity. So not every manager that joins a club can be, but is he going to win a trophy? There are 3 domestic trophies that could be won every year. The Premier League in the last, The Premier League in the last 8 years, if I'm not wrong, 9 years has been won by 2 clubs, City and Liverpool.
And Liverpool.
Right?
Yeah.
2. So get rid of the Premier League. No, unless you've got big bucks and you're buying world class, you're not getting that. Right? The
Well, you
FA
have the
Cup
name
and
to attract them.
the League Cup, sure. The FA Cup and the League Cup, it's the cup run. But I'm guessing if you look at the FA Cup for the last 10, 15 years, who do we reckon's won that FA Cup for the last 10, 15 years?
Man
United, Liverpool, City. It's the big teams.
Chelsea.
Here we go.
It's
Let's,
big teams.
I'll tell you what, should we have a look?
It certainly ain't Tottenham.
Should we have a look? Here we go.
Last time we won it, 91.
The FA Cup winners, right? Have a look at this, right? So when we're talking about, and this goes to Sean Butler, he always talks about this, to be fair to him.
Yeah, I know he does. I thought of him as soon as you said.
If we have a look at this, hopefully you can all see that list. Oh, that's bloody tiny, Savva.
Yeah.
Come on. So if you can all see that list, right? Look at it. United, City, Liverpool. Now, Leicester are the anomaly, and then Wigan, right? But in the last, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In the last 15 seasons, the only 2 teams that have won it that are not in the big 6, if you will, the big 4, are Leicester City and Wigan Athletic.
Yeah.
Right? We can even go down further. Have a look. Chelsea. And then you get an anomaly. Portsmouth. Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man U, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U. An anomaly in Everton. Man U, Arsenal, Liverpool. All the way back to when we won it in 1990.
I was going to say, keep going. You get 91 and a bit. You get 91 and a bit.
But this is what I mean. Like when you've got these fans, right? When you've got these fans that are just saying these crazy things like, well, it doesn't matter who comes in. I'm not expecting any Spurs manager to win year after year after year. Yes, we want some trophies, but surely it can't be that we're judging Poch's tenure by. Listen, I'll agree. Did Poch get over the line? No. Should he have? I do think maybe at one point he should have. But look at that 5 years. I'm going to bring it up here, guys. Look at this. Look, I've highlighted Pochettino's 5 years. Hang on. I've highlighted his 5 years, right? So if you look there, you can see that the first column is games played, games won, drawn, lost, goals scored, goals against, points, league position, and then all the competitions. Have a look at just how good that is.
Yeah. The lowest is fifth.
And if I'm not wrong, that was his first season, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's when he was just getting things together. And we were still going like that. We were still on the upward.
On the steady, yeah.
No, we was going upwards because he took us
hang on. Wasn't 13-14 his first season?
It might have been, actually.
Either way, so after his first season, look at these seasons we had under him, right? Look at, and what you'll notice as well, look at the goals conceded column. So in that year where he conceded 53, after that, boom, 35, 26, 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the goals scored. Right, 58, and then bang, 69, 86, 74. Like, everything improved. Everything improved.
Massively.
League position, goals scored, goals against. Look at the wins. 19, 19, 26. Right, look at the losses. Right, 12, then 6, then 4. This is what, when you talk about why should a manager stay in a job for 3 to 5 years, when you see this, when you see progression.
This is why the thing you've got here, not with like you finished 5th last year, now we're like 14th or whatever. That's no reason to keep someone. That's going completely the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But that bit you showed there shows exactly why I love Poch and exactly why I'd have him back tomorrow. And you got to remember, he did this as well. He did this basically with one arm time behind his back. If he'd have had the same amount of backing that Ange has had, we'd have won those leagues. We'd have won those leagues easily. Easily. We had by far the best team that Poch created. By far. But we just never had the backups to come in when Harry got injured, or like Jan got injured, or Toby got injured, or Walker or Rose got injured. We just never had the backups. Our first 11 under Poch was the best in the league.
Look at the state of some of our fans.
Honestly, Ronnie, I know you've got a Spurs badge as your like thing, but are you actually a Tottenham fan?
It's
I got
mad,
to
isn't
ask
it?
it. No. Are you actually a Tottenham fan?
I mean, look, you could tell another Ange fan. I can see it a mile off. I can see it a mile off. Poch was sacked because, listen, of his 6 years, 5.5 years, 5 of them were very good. The last year, 4.5 were very good. The last year wasn't so good. It happens over time, Petro.
And in that last year, we didn't sign anyone. So
what are we doing?
Well, we did actually. We did actually, because we signed Ndombele and that. Right. The reason
anybody, this is an Ange fan. I bet he's an Ange fan.
The reason Poch was sacked, right? A lot of it came because he kept saying, "We've got a new house, but we need the furniture." He kept saying, but our priority was the new stadium and all of this, that, and the other. That is why he went. Because to be honest, please
go back and support Celtic.
Yeah,
please go back and support Celtic.
Yeah,
you're an embarrassment.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think he's a Tottenham fan. I don't even think he's a Tottenham fan.
Unfortunately, we've got a lot of fans that don't understand football that come on and say these things. Do you know what, Petro? Come on, Petro.
I've got to say something here as well with the players that he brought in, Poch. He coached them. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, 2 players on the periphery of their teams that they were playing for. He brought in, coached, and made them world-class defenders. Can you imagine what he could do with the likes of Romero and Van der Ven if he was to coach them? With Adogi, with Spence. We had Walker and Rose, and he coached them to be fantastic players as well. The midfield.
Romero and Vertonghen are nothing on the Belgian barrier, though.
Yeah, I know, but they could be. They coached right. They could be.
Jan and Toby were next level. And Toby were next level.
But when they were brought in, when they were
Belgian barrier,
the peripheries of their team, weren't they? They weren't getting in much.
Washed. Even it is washed. What has happened here?
I don't know.
What is that? I'll tell you what.
I'm going to go throw myself off.
Petro, you talk like an Ange fan. You talk like an Ange fan, Petro. I can see it. You're the embodiment of embarrassment. Mate, you've got no real name, no picture. You won't come on.
Exactly.
Mate, you're a troll. You're a clown. Listen, if you're going to sit there and tell me rubbish, I've just shown you. Look what Poch did at Spurs.
With one hand tied behind his back. Let's get that in there as well.
Look what Poch did. And you're going, nah, this guy. What on earth?
Nearly won us the league. Nearly won us the Champions League. I know it's nearly, but it's closest that we've been in so long. And
by the way, I have stated many times, Corey, Iriola is my main target.
Oh, yeah.
I will take Iriola, Silva, Frank, Glasner, and these are just from the Premier League. These are just from the Premier League.
I'd take Gareth Southgate over Ange.
Oh, over Ange, I'd take anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the bloke in the bin on a Sunday league.
This is what I mean. Look at it's so what? He's not the Pep, Ancelotti, Mourinho levels, but we're not at those levels.
No.
We're not. Look what happens when you get in a Conte and a Mourinho. They call it out for what it is because they win. Right? Yeah. We don't need that. We need a coach. If any Spurs fan is watching Spurs, I'll call it out. Any YouTuber is welcome on. Any of these YouTubers that look at this and don't think we need coaching immediately, they don't understand football.
Savva, show the highline.
Do not understand football.
No.
Savva, show the highline at Chelsea, please.
We've seen that a million times. Well,
I
put
know,
it
but I
this
need
way.
to see it again and go, you don't coach your
Put it
players
this way,
like that.
right? Put it this way, right? Right. Sav just said his number one choice is Iriola, right? I like Iriola as well. You got to remember, why does everybody like Iriola? Because he gives
Good
you
manager,
Poch
good
vibes.
coach.
Because he gives you Poch vibes. He plays like Poch, and he's got the same vibes that Poch had when he was here.
Do you also know why Iriola's so well liked? He actually gets out and, you know, shouts at his players, like, come on, and
Exactly.
pointing like to all his players. This is Ange.
Poch would do that every
Are we
game.
attacking yet? No. Okay, I'll just
Poch would do that every game.
Ange.
Isn't this a great comment from Gus? He said the snide remarks Poch and Harry get are unbelievable, yet the dullard in charge gets backed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mad,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is madness.
utter
It's madness.
Ben has said we need beyond major surgery, not just mate, I agree. And
Yeah.
by the way,
Agree,
Perchy's just said this to me. Perchy loves to. Said for your debate, people are so far down, quadruple downing on Ange and now discrediting Poch. The level of PR that Ange has is madness. Just list the players Pochettino has upskilled. Rose, Walker, Wanyama, Dembele, Ali, Kane, Son, Ericsson, right? To list a few. Now name me one player Ange has upskilled.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Sab, we had this on the last show, and one of the shows I was on, and I said the only players that Ange has possibly improved are the young ones that are naturally progressing anyway because they're getting older. He has not improved anybody. Nobody.
I don't think
The only ones that's improving are naturally improving because they're getting older. The youngsters. You know, you could possibly say Bergvall may have got a bit better, but that's because he's evolving. He's getting older. You know, it's not because anything Ange has done. Poch would come in and take Bergvall and turn. Well, personally, I think so because obviously I think I'm Poch's biggest fan. You imagine what Poch would do. Poch would turn Bergvall into a Dele Alli.
Oh,
the
mate.
same as what he did with Dele Alli.
For sure.
Whether that's me saying it with my Poch glasses on, I don't know.
Imagine Ange with some of these younger players. Poch with some of these younger players, right? This is the problem. I'm not saying in year one. I'm not saying that he comes in and in year one we go, oh my God, Archie Gray is sensational, right? But what I'm saying is he will come in and get the best out of Gray, the best out of Bergvall, coach them. You know what? The team would actually look coached. The football team would actually look well drilled, right? By the way, this isn't just him. We talk about Poch because of the affinity we have with him, but this is Glasner, this is Silva, this is Iriola. Look at what Glasner and Iriola have done with the squads they've got. They've coached them.
It's like what I said on Monday with the 10 coaches that are out of favour at the moment or out of jobs. There's at least 7 names on there you think, would come. And then the top 3 is what? Jurgen Klopp, Xavi, and Zizou. You know, I mean, you're never going to get Zizou, but...
I'll tell you another thing.
You're not getting an Inzaghi. You're not getting...
No.
You're not getting an Inzaghi.
No.
We need to learn. I hate to break it to people like Matt. We need a coach. We need somebody that lives and breathes going on that training ground.
Yeah. That's what made Poch stand out.
Can I just make another point about Pochettino? And it's nothing to do with the football. When Pochettino was the manager of this club, I have never felt more connected with the club. At the moment, with this clown in charge, I've never felt more disconnected with the club. Poch made everybody, didn't matter whether you went, you watched on telly, you were a season ticket holder, anything. Poch made us all feel like a family. Because he would come out and he would speak. And it's like you said, Sav. When Poch did an interview on the telly, you would tune in and you would turn the volume up. It's not like now where you turn the volume down and turn it over to another channel.
I was going to say, I turn the TV off when Ange starts speaking.
No, I don't even listen to it.
How unprofessional is Ange when he's screaming and arguing with fans? You should be sacked just for that. You shouldn't be screaming with your fans. You should just walk straight into that tunnel and forget the fan said something. The fan has the right to say, what you doing, this is crap, this is shit. Walk past it. You're supposed to be a manager. You're supposed to be professional.
That's another thing. When
this
did you
isn't
ever
a
see
Sunday League pub team, is it?
When did you ever see Pochettino arguing with fans after we
Never.
lost? Never. I never saw it. All right, social media wasn't like it is now, and not everyone had a camera phone, but you never saw it. You never ever saw it. When Poch was manager of this team, I have never felt more connected with my club that I've supported for 50 odd years. Let's get that in there.
Can I have a look at this? So, like, even look at some of the people we're poo-pooing, right? Like Ronnie again. Ronnie, who said some stupid things today. Thomas Frank at Tottenham.
Oh my God!
What are we doing now? Let me show you this, right? Let me show you this.
If these people are going to make comments, at least have evidence to back it up.
A guy that come in, Thomas Frank, on a shoestring budget every year and loses their best players every season, still manages to do this. I mean,
have a look at Thomas Frank. He's taken them from, they weren't even one of the better teams in the Championship. Money-wise, stadium-wise, anything-wise, budget-wise. He got them higher and higher and higher every season in the Championship. Then got them to 13th in the Premier League, 9th. All right, last year they slipped down 16th. And now this year, again, 11th.
The thing is so sad.
Hang on. With a shoestring budget, loses his best players every year. What on earth? How are these managers that are doing brilliantly with a tenth of what Postecoglou's had being mocked? But yet, I've no idea. I have no idea what
the thing is. Yeah, I was going to say the thing is, though, you got to look at these teams, and their expectations aren't the same as ours. We're a big club, and we expect to be challenging and competing.
Well, I don't expect to be challenging. If I'm brutally honest, I don't.
I expect being what? All right, I'll rephrase that. I expect to be in the top 6.
Sure, agreed.
You know,
yeah,
that's what I meant to say.
With Brentford, I would take their striker Wisa. What a player he is! What a player he is!
Look what he's done. Look what he's done, Corey. With though, I'll tell you what. Let's bring up the Brentford squad.
I'll tell you a story now, Pat. Just 1 minute, sir. 2013, Dan Burn scored for my hometown club at Wembley in the Division 1 playoff against Brentford. So they were still in Division 2 in 2013. Yeovil Town beat them at Wembley, and Dan Burn scored. And Dan Burn scored to make it 2-1 to Yeovil.
Do you want to know something about Dan Burn?
And that's 12 years ago. 12 years ago, they were in League 2. Let that sink in. How far Brentford have come.
I don't get it. Anybody who seems to do a good job gets discredited, right?
No.
But if you do a bad job as Spurs manager, you just get 1,000,001 excuses. Yeah. I'm having a look at this Brentford squad, right? Let's have a look at it together, right? And by the way, I'm not going to start playing revisionism here. I'm not going to start going, oh my God, these players are amazing. Far from it, right? Stop the screen, present, share screen. Here we go. Look at this, right? So this is Brentford's squad, right? I mean, these are their goalkeepers. I mean, the only one there, is Flecken. Good goalkeeper. Does a good job.
Quality
done
keeper.
Well. Again, no Spurs fan would want Mark Flecken over Vicario.
No.
Right? Let's scroll down. Let's have a look at their defenders. No one would want Hickey. I reckon some would want Rico Henry, but he's been out injured for about 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
No one would want Sepp Vandenberg, Pinnock, Ben Mee, Aya, Magoma.
Thing is,
Collins.
you say no one would have Ben Mee. I would have Ben Mee when he was on a free. The guy's
no, you're missing my point, Corey.
Yeah, exactly.
The Spurs fan base. Keane, Lewis Potter, Roslev, Coyote. Look at these names. Now going to midfield.
I've never heard of half these names.
Right? I like some of these midfielders, but none of them, if Spurs had signed, would anyone have said, yeah, I want him. Right?
The fans would have gone mad.
Look at this squad, right? Then you've got Vissa and Mbuemo, who are the two obvious stands out in that squad. Yeah. With that squad, this manager is 7 points clear of Tottenham Hotspur as we speak.
Exactly. Well, there we go. You just need to leave it there, Seth. That's all you need to say.
He's currently got the best away record in the Premier League. They've won 5 or 6 away games in the bounce of the Premier League. By the way, Tottenham Hotspur have got only 2 teams have lost more away games than Spurs this season.
And they're in the bottom 3.
But again, by the way, guys, nowhere have I said Frank is my number 1 target. But if you said to me right now, do I want Thomas Frank or Angepostecoglou? It's not even a conversation.
You could say any manager. You could say any manager. You could say Gareth Southgate, and I'd take him over Angepostecoglou. Because at least we might stink the place out and pick a point up now and again.
So can I just? I've broken my own rule, Matt. When you're saying why can't we lure Inzaghi? Where is Inzaghi currently the manager of? Can anyone please answer me?
AC, isn't it? No, Inter. One of them.
Why on earth is Inzaghi going to leave Inter Milan, the best club in Italy, who are in the Champions League quarterfinals, to join Tottenham Hotspur from Inter Milan? It is mental. Thank you, Ben. Inter Milan, the best team in Italy. This is mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's delusionalism, isn't it? It's like sitting in a psychiatric ward waiting to be assessed if you're going to shout names out like that. Jesus.
Money talks. He's managing Inter Milan. Matt, Inter Milan are one of the biggest clubs in world football. What are you?
Just give your head a wobble, mate. Please.
Oh, I want to give my head a bloody wobble, Mark.
Well, all right, yeah. But you know, it's nonsense. There's some people you just will not talk to them. You just will ignore their comments and not talk to them.
It is absolutely amazing that we've got fans. I'll tell you what, while we're at it, why don't we just go and take Ancelotti from Real Madrid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just take Pep from Man City. Matt, how old are you? Can I ask? Because if you are a teenager, I feel bad. If you are a grown man, I don't feel bad at all. But this is absolutely mental. Inter Milan, one of the best clubs in the world, right? Top footballers. And you think Spurs are going to go to Inzaghi and go,
God.
Now, listen, this is different. If he leaves and is a free transfer and no one else wants him, sure. But why on earth would he join Tottenham? These we've asked Matt, he won't. Now, this is more realistic. Xavi is more realistic because Xavi is a free agent, hasn't got a club, has only managed one team. This is more realistic.
Iriola's realistic as well. Even though he's doing great at Bournemouth, he's only on £1 million a year. You know what I mean? And Bournemouth, and I got to be careful what I say because Bournemouth's only down the road from me. I get people knocking on my door. But Bournemouth, Bournemouth lose their best players. Anything they've got of any worth gets snapped up every year. Bournemouth. Yeah. They're not that. I'm not disrespecting Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are one of them teams. They're just happy to be in the Premier League. You know what I mean? I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being disrespectful.
Where were they in Brentford a few years back? They weren't even favoured to go up.
What, Brentford?
Brentford and Bournemouth. Clubs like that.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, they come up and everyone goes, well, they're going to get relegated immediately.
Well, I told you, right? In 2013, Yeovil Town beat Brentford in the League One playoff at Wembley Stadium. I wasn't there, and Dan Burns scored because he was on loan at Yeovil. And we won 2-1 to go into the Championship. That was the year that Yeovil spent a year in the Championship. And then they got relegated. Then they got relegated again. Then again, I think. Now we're in the National Conference, whatever it is, National League. But we beat Brentford, so they would have been in League Two. So in 12 years, Brentford have gone from League Two to an established Premier League team. Because how long have they been in the Premier League now, Brentford? 3 or 4 years?
3 years.
Yeah, I think this is their 4th season.
Yeah. And so in 8 years, they went from League Two to the Premier League.
And so not only Brentford
so that tells you.
Yeah, Brentford do a lot right with their scouting, just like Brighton. Yeah, when Brighton came up, they were like favourites to go down. They steadied the ship, and then they've gone out and scouted fantastic players, just like Brentford had, and made
Well,
profits.
exactly. Put it this way, right?
We can't even scout a player to run past another one.
Put it this way, right? If we wanted Areola, if Areola, whatever his name is, was our choice, we would go out and just sweep him up. We would, because I'm not being nasty. Because I said I got to go careful. Bournemouth's only down the road. I don't want people knocking on my door. But like, if we wanted Areola, we would get him. There's no question whatsoever. We would just go in, swoon in, show him the stadium, show him the training facilities, and he would be in. You know, and I'm not being disrespectful to Bournemouth because I don't want all their fans up my house.
You're not at all. Listen,
No.
I've said this before. People have got to realise that, yes, Bournemouth are having a very good season. Yes, he's done a very good job there. But I've said this before, it's the circle of life. The shelf life you've got at clubs like that. Exactly. Managers are the same as players. They want to go to bigger clubs. Now, no matter how bad a season we've had, if you ask anyone in the world of football, where are you going to join? Is it going to be Bournemouth or Tottenham Hotspur? They're going to join Tottenham Hotspur.
Of course.
And this is the same for Glasner. This is the same for Areola. This is the same for Marco Silva. Those managers, listen, will they join right now with 9 games to go? No. I'm not suggesting that they're going to leave and leave their clubs in the lurch with 9 games to go. But you're not telling me that come June the 1st, whatever it is, whenever the season finishes, end of May, that Daniel Levy rings up, or whoever's negotiating for us these days, rings up Areola's agent and says, big fan of your work, 5 million a year. Are you interested if we buy you out your contract? I have no doubt that Areola goes absolutely, because he's going to come to some good young players, right, that he can coach. He's got a great training ground to work on. He's got a magnificent stadium, and he's going to get more budget at Tottenham than he ever would at Bournemouth.
He'd be in the first Uber. He'd be in the first Uber out of Bournemouth. I can guarantee it.
I agree.
He might even go to the airport and fly. You know what I mean? Because there's an airport down there.
He'll get Harry Redknapp to give him a lift down from Sandbanks next time he comes down.
Yeah. Paul is right next to Bournemouth. I know that area pretty well.
There we go.
Like I said, it's only down the road from me. There
we go. I'm not sure Areola will be able to handle the intense media scrutiny. Why?
Have you not been watching him?
Based off what? I don't understand. By the way, this isn't just Areola, and welcome, Lubo. We're talking about anything and everything, Lubo. You know us.
There's royalty on today, isn't there? Like, this is Mr. Last Word on Spurs.
Oh yeah. He's too big for us, and he's gone to them. So yeah, he's joined Marlon and Ash in terms of being too good for our show. We get the Wednesday morning slot. They get the Sunday evenings. Don't worry about it. Lubo, can I just get your opinion first of all? Listen, I don't think any of us are silly enough to think that Poch saying he wants to come back one day means, oh my God, he's joining this month. But doesn't it surprise you a little bit, Lubo? I'll ask what I asked these two gentlemen earlier, that everyone talks about Levy's relationship with managers and why this manager would never come back and this manager. But so far this year, both Redknapp and Poch have said they've got good relationships with Daniel and that they would come back. Does that surprise you?
It does a little bit. It does a bit. The way Harry was bounced out, the way Jamie Redknapp has talked about Spurs, because obviously he's pissed off the way his father was treated.
Yep.
Yes, it does, to be honest. Poch was waiting for the call.
Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Sorry, Lubo. Go back.
But Poch was waiting for the call, never got it. Can't blame him, after waiting it probably the best part of the year to go to Chelsea when they called. So, yeah, surprised. Listen, if he comes back, it'll be after the World Cup. I don't think anybody thinks otherwise. Listen, if you got a chance to manage a national team who are playing in their own country, you're hosting a World Cup. What an opportunity for Poch. I mean, fantastic. And one that he deserves. So he's certainly not going to give that up to come back to this shit show at the moment. And I've heard
So
the
what
beginning.
you're saying is we've got Ange for one more year, and then we might be able to have someone like Poch. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
If
let's
we
hope
buy him
not.
next season, I'm watching something else for
I
a
was
year.
going to say, let's hope not. Big up Philly, by the way. I ain't seen you for ages, mate.
How's everyone?
I get how I feel. If that's the case, Sav, then Poch will get us. He'll bring us up as champions from the championship the year after.
Excellent.
Because Andrew will take us down next year, and Poch will walk in and say, "Great, come on, let's get you into Europe in 2 years. Might not be one, probably be two."
So he will finally get us over the line.
Who?
Win
Win the championship, yeah.
Woohoo! We've won a
Excellent.
trophy.
Just quickly before we move on, I should probably do these. It's very rude of me. Big up to Dan, who has become a YouTube member. Big up, Dan. Always supported me very well here and on my Big Up channel. By the way, the next show on Big Up is going to be the mighty England versus the mighty Albania on Friday night for Tuchel's first game as England manager. Big up to you, Dan. Appreciate you. Vineet has come in and said, for the man Poch is, don't think he will come before before World Cup. Also, the thing with trophies is the only ones that really count are the League and Champions League. People who say Poch didn't win anything here should hire Ten Hag. Vineet, I agree with your first sentence. I agree with the first sentence. I agree with, which is what Lubo just said. I don't see him coming anytime before the World Cup. And by the way, apparently it's £15 million to buy him out of his USA contract. That counts Daniel Levy out immediately.
No. Come on, Daniel. Come on, Daniel. Do it.
That's 3 new 18-year-olds for Daniel Levy, so don't worry about that. I don't agree with this notion that the only trophies that matter are the League and the Champions League. This is a very dangerous place to be as a football fan, especially a fan of a club that hasn't won the league for, 1961, that hasn't won the league. I'm just quickly trying to do the quick maths. What's that, 64 years?
Yes.
4 years, yeah.
64 years, Vinny, and we've never won a Champions League. So,
I'd take the Aggie Cup again, I would.
Can I just defend that? Can I just defend that a little bit? But when Poch was here, that was the two cups, because the FA Cup and the League Cup, we sort of chucked them to one side, didn't we?
He didn't really. He didn't.
He never took that.
Did he? You look at. I remember going to Palace, and he put out half a reserve team in a fourth round.
That's what I was saying. He never took the League Cup and the FA Cup really seriously. But then again, that was probably Daniel saying that fourth place and the Champions League money was the most important.
No, I'm not having it. I'm disagreeing. I'm not having it.
No.
Sorry, I'm not having this, that he didn't take those cups seriously. He got to a League Cup final. He got to 2 FA Cup semi-finals and a further League Cup semi-final. For a guy that's not taking those competitions very seriously, we certainly went very far in them.
As Poch's biggest fan, I choose to ignore that.
Oh, wait. Here's the evidence. Let's deny the evidence.
This is like when I have a row with my wife. I go, yeah, but look, I did do what you said. Yeah, I'm going in that room. Oh, all right.
I've buried my head in the sand.
I've done the hoovering, but not good enough.
I've buried my head in the sand immediately. Sorry, can't hear you. La 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 la.
Next week, Vineet's come back in again and said, "No, Chelsea were wrong with Poch, and the evidence is in with the performance of Palmer, Gusto, Madueke under Maresca. Poch turned Cucurella around last season. Look, I do feel again. Listen, I agreed. Listen, I think Poch did a good job at Chelsea. I don't think people give him enough credit for what he did at Chelsea. But by the way, like people are talking about Chelsea right now as though they're in the bottom half. Chelsea are 4th in the Premier League. Maresca's first year in the Premier League as manager, a manager of any club. Has he done a bad job? This year, Chelsea could get top 4 and win the Conference League.
Yeah, I think if Poch carried on the job, I think he would have got better out of the players.
I agree.
I agree. I think he should have stayed on a little bit longer. And you would have seen a better Chelsea under Poch.
Phil,
instead
I
of
completely
Maresca.
agree.
In my
But
eyes,
the
anyway.
way people are talking about Maresca, you would think Chelsea are where Spurs are.
Yeah,
Do you want my opinion? My opinion about Poch at Chelsea is they got rid of him because of his Spurs links, and you can't have none of that there. Because
Wasn't
that
it
is
because
what I
of Conor
personally
Gallagher?
think. Yeah, possibly.
Was it? I heard that he wanted to keep Conor Gallagher because he was his captain. And that
Yes.
Chelsea
That's
wanted
right.
to sell him
Yes.
to make
Yeah.
money for
FFP.
PSR.
Yes. And plus Poch being loved at Tottenham as he is. Like Poch is absolutely adored at this club, and that doesn't sit very well at Chelsea.
He's
It
the only
definitely
MP I
doesn't.
trust, remember?
It
He's
definitely
the only MP
doesn't.
I trust.
I'm not even going to read my mate Matt's comment. Why is the lad in the top left obsessed with Poch? Redknapp was better and had a worse squad than Poch. Dude, Matt, don't answer him. I'm just saying that troll. He's a troll. Big up to Plain.
Go on, Mark, do it.
No.
There's a reported release clause of 4 million. And again, speculation.
There we are.
There is a break clause for Ange if he doesn't qualify for Europe this summer. Doesn't take a genius to work it out, in my opinion. I mean, Blaine, big up, very generous. Look, listen, do you know what? I kind of feel like the moment he gets knocked out of the Europa League, that's him done. But I also feel like, surely, if your biggest achievement of the season is beating Alkmaar, Elfsborg, Ferencvaros, and Karabag, and that's the reason we want to keep a manager, then, I mean, the club's at an all-time, we're at an all-time low. However, beat Frankfurt, beat probably Lazio, and beat Bilbao in the final, you've got a difference, but I can't see him beating any of them. That's just me. And then big up to you, Blaine. And then here's a question for you, Mark, from Phil P. He said, what does Mark think of Poch? Please clarify.
I love him. Right. Pochettino, as I explained earlier, is possibly, I accept that he didn't win anything, but he made me proud to be a Tottenham fan.
Yeah.
He made me proud to wear my shirt and go in the pub. There'd be no piss taking when I went in there. People were, when they knew they had us, and I was going over the pub to watch it on Sky, people knew that they didn't come and search me out after they stuffed us. I'd be the one searching them out because we'd beat them. And this goes for the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea.
I've got another euphemism why he loves him so much. Pochettino could be in bed with his missus and he'd be like, do you need any extra blankets, sir?
No.
I just like the way that
you heard that on Talk Sport, Corey, yesterday about Eddie Howe. Yeah, Geordie fucking did.
Yeah.
Just change it around for Poch.
I can promise you now. I can promise you now. If Pochettino wanted to get in bed with my missus, I'd question his eyesight.
That's nice.
Do you know what? Eddie Howe.
This is why I'm single.
Eddie Howe can have my wife for a year if he joins Tottenham as manager. I do. There are good coaches everywhere. This isn't just about Iriola, by the way, but we missed the boat on Eddie Howe. Top coach. Top coach.
He'll be England manager. He'll be England manager.
I agree with you, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I mean, Cockerell, please subscribe to Jose. He's nearly at 1,000. Come on, let's get him to 1,000. And talking about that, guys, I'm 108 away from 17,000, and this has been the longest 1,000 in my YouTube life.
What's
honestly,
1,000?
I thought first 1,000 was long. 16,000 to 17,000 has felt like watching Tottenham for 90 minutes week in, week out. It's been really tough. Jose has said, during the Poch era, I look forward to every game, going into it thinking we would win. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what,
Exactly.
guys? One biggest criticism of the weekend was I said we'd lose 2-1. I gave us too much credit to even score a fucking goal.
Poch got the fans as well.
Do you know what?
He had a good relationship with us.
How Spursy was it when Ryan Sessegnon rolled his man and buried it in the top corner? Like, in a way, I was kind of like, yeah, that sounds about right. Do you know what I mean? It was like, oh, go on, Ryan. Like such, just.
I was
Spurs.
willing him on to do it. I was like, go on. Hey!
But that's why Poch wanted him. That's why they spent 30 million on him for exactly that. But the problem is he's always injured. So
Yeah,
that was the stage. That was the stage I clicked my stream off. I thought that's enough. That's
Great
enough.
film, by the way. Great.
Agreed.
Film.
Guys, I want to show you something just quickly. I didn't know how many people I was going to get on. I want to show you a little video that I made. Sorry, I was actually asked by Dave, Irish Hotspur. Big up to Irish Hotspur. Please go and subscribe to Dave and Jack. They do a fantastic job and putting a lot of hard work for everyone. I was asked to do a video about my predictions for this season. I want to show you guys this, and then I'm going to show you afterwards some of the comments that I got in the comment section as to my predictions. I want to see how far off I am. Enjoy this. This is 1 minute of me. I think I had a bit more weight back on me then. My face is a bit thinner now. Just thought I'd put that out there before this starts.
And things started for us. Next, we have Savva from Football Heritage TV. He likes to think that he's negative. I like to think that he can be pretty balanced from time to time, and we'll see what his season predictions are. He can be pretty hard on himself, I think, with his own predictions. So let's see what he has to say.
Yes, this is my predictions for Irish Hotspur to Dave and to Jack. So you want to know, where do I think Spurs will finish this season? I think at the moment, at the time of recording this video, I'm going to go for 7th. The reason being, I don't think we have strengthened at all. I think adding Solanke completely doesn't change any of the deficiencies at the back, the poor tactics, the fact that we concede so many goals, and his inability to change and adapt. I think in the FA Cup, we'll get to the quarterfinals. The League Cup, I think we'll also get to the quarterfinals. I think we'll make the last 16, maybe the quarterfinals of the Europa League. 7th in the league. Top goal scorer, given injuries, will be Dominic Solanke. And our player of the year will be Mickey van der Ven, because he's the quality player in the club. Don't all hate me at once. I just can't see things are getting better. I don't bury my head in the sand. Bye.
Don't bury your head in this.
How dare you be so positive?
Right. So that was my prediction,
positioning.
right? Now,
Apart from the
it
positioning,
looks
though,
like
you've
I
got
was
goals,
overly
right?
positive in the FA Cup talking about the quarterfinal. Right, we didn't even make the 5th round, did we? I think we got knocked out in the 4th round. Is that right?
4th round, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So positive Savva for one, right? All right. I said quarterfinals of the League Cup. We made the semi-finals. Negative Savva, right? I said we'd make the quarterfinals of the Europa League.
Got that
So
right.
far,
We're there.
So
We're there.
far, right? And then I said we'd finish 7th in the Premier League.
14.
I must have been smoking a massive joint on that day or something, because 7th now, guys, looks amazing. Now, right? Now, I want to show you, have a look at some of these comments. And if this is one of the people in the chat, I am not sorry for calling you out. I am not sorry at all. Let's have a look at some of the lovely things that were said about me, shall we? This was immediately after that video in Dave and Jack's chat. It was, Savva, what a surprise. What surprise, guys? What surprise? I was too positive, right? What surprise?
Well, yeah.
Come out with a smile on your face, mate. Just
Savva,
like,
what a surprise that you predicted 7th when we're actually 14th. Next one. I can't understand these Spurs fans. I think Savva actually supports Arsenal.
That was a thing for a while. That was a thing for a while that you were on AFTV.
Yep. I support Arsenal. Bearing in mind, this is all off the back of that video you just saw.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got Savva, what a surprise. Savva supports Arsenal. The next one's quite good. I like this next one. Welcome, Barry. Is some toxic negativity happening amongst you guys. Most non-Spurs experts are predicting full 4th, 5th. And the person underneath has come in and said, I've seen Arsenal fans predicting 3rd. Yet our own fans think 7th. It's disgusting, to be honest. Yes, it is disgusting predicting 7th when you're 14th in the Premier League table. Ready? This is a good one.
Positions off, lad.
It's a good one. Said 6th or 7th, ye of little faith. If we had Solanke in the depth in squad, Bergvall, Archie, Moore and co last season, we would have finished 3rd or higher. If we had a fully fit Bentancur and a top right winger. Low block without a proper 9, we struggled. I tell you what, how wrong can you be? Ye of little faith over here. Ye of little faith. I'm calling these people out now. Dean Drury, Savva is the king. I'm just going to leave it at that. If that's all right. Savva is the king.
That's enough of
Savva
that.
is the king of
You're only
talking out,
missing. You're only missing
talking
the
out
town
both
crier, aren't you?
sides of his mouth. Calls Ange a terrible coach, says Tottenham have terrible players, yet they finish 5th. So it's either average players and the coach done an excellent job, or the players are great and Ange was poor. Now, what I love about Dean Drury is Savva said Ange a terrible coach. Tick, he has. Savva has said many times on here that I don't think these players, Lupo, we've debated this. I don't think these players are terrible. No, I don't think this is a terrible squad. So Dean Drury, again, he looked like a bit of a dick. This guy, Savva is extremely negative. Hard to believe he is real or just lives off the clickbait. I predicted 7th. We're 14th. This guy, by the way, every day I do a show, he comes into my comments afterwards telling me I'm a shit fan. Every day. It's not the last we've seen of him, by the way. He's come back in. Dermot has common sense. Well done, mate. That's Dermot he's talking about, Dermatron. At least 2 trophies. Ange is a winner. Spurs are losers. Ange is too powerful to stop even the haters. Now, just to tell you all how YouTube works, if you say nice things like Dermot did, and big up Dermot, lots of love for Dermot. Dermot predicted Spurs will win the Europa League and the League Cup and finish 3rd or 4th in the Premier League, right? That's the reaction you get if you say nice things. Common sense. When you are, even I was wrong, but when you are right, the Spurs won't be doing any of those things. You're negative. And the last one, can't stand Savva. Can't spell either, but I won't hold that against him. Can't stand Savva. Nothing but money grabbing off true Spurs fans. Only talks about negative press. Boring, boring Savva. Put your Arsenal shirt and piss off to the scummers.
He's missing put Arsenal shirt on. Bad English there. Really bad. And I'm dyslexic.
Sam, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the comments that are coming up over the last couple of minutes. Anthony White, I think you should buy 18 subscriptions now, as you said, Savva's a gooner. Over to you.
Savva, if I'm honest, Savva, if I'm honest, I think they got it spot on with what they said in the comments, didn't they, about you?
Reckon Savva's a gooner.
Unbelievable.
Phil P as well.
True, no? You're a gooner. You're getting off, you're making your money grabbing off Spurs fans.
Ellie did think you were twerking a bit the other week, didn't she, Sav?
Yeah, he was
I was going to say, like, all that's
exactly
missing from those comments, seriously.
Let's give it. Savva gives you crap about Archie Gray and everything else. Let's give it back to him. He deserves it. It's his what?
You know,
I don't think any of those people were wrong in what they've said. I think they were absolutely correct. And especially this guy next to me, he talks absolute waffle, but he must be right as well.
He's a mold. You know what? I reckon Savva's a mold that's been planted by Robbie Lyle. What do you reckon?
Oh, could be.
I reckon you're right.
But you know, one thing that's missing from all this, the town crier walking behind Savva going, unclean! Bring out your dead! Unclean!
You know what? Do you know the funny thing, right? That is off of one video that was made before the start of the season. If I was to go through, and I haven't got the time for it, but if I was to go through, right, every single show I've done and seen all the comments about you're going to be in the mud, Savva, when we win the League Cup, when we win the FA Cup, when we finish top 4, Ange will turn it around when the players are back. I just, receipts. People forget there are receipts. The same way, if Spurs win the Europa League, I've got to sit here and go, I was wrong. But these people, it's...
Savva, hold it, mate. You won't need to say that, mate. Don't.
The mud is so dry, mate. You're safe. Yeah. The mud's dry. You're safe. Don't worry about
it. It's very easy, isn't it? It's very easy to just put comments in, don't appear, and then sort of like disappear. You know, just like, oh, I didn't say that.
No, they come back. These people. So can I just tell you one last thing on that video? The funny thing about that video is there's 4 Spurs YouTubers in a row that all predicted 7. It was me, Kate, Marlon, and I want to say Dorset Lee, mate, and maybe him or one other. 4 of us in a row predicted 7. Yet in the comments, it was
Judy
not
gets told.
one of them
Yeah,
got
you know
called out.
why, Savva?
Not one of them
Because
got
you've been
called out.
so used to top four. I think that's
Because they're nice. They're nice people, Savva, and you're not clearly.
Sorry, why are you here? Why are you here?
I'm here just to stir today. I'm here just to stir.
Are we at Tottenham TV picked someone better than you today to go on their show, so now you can come on here? Is that what's going on? You're the big channels these days, eh?
No.
on?
I'm there for Chelsea, mate. Don't worry. I'm there with Sim to bring him back down to earth for Chelsea.
You'll be here to at least 2:30, won't you, Nick? To go and get the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Hang on. If you guys think I'm bad, Lee Gunner would rip this fan base a new one.
Oh,
yeah.
Guess what? He would be bringing up these receipts every 5 minutes, going, "Look at this dick. Look at this."
You know what? The only Arsenal fan I actually have respect for, and I've got two of them in my family. I think they're dicks.
It's madness. The funny thing was, right, is even I didn't think he was this shit, Ange. Like I thought he was 7th shit. I thought he was like Conference League qualification shit.
Were you happy with him coming in, Savva? At the start,
when he came in, I actually did a video and said, I feel like this is a bit of a breath of fresh air. Let's see what he's about. then, as we all know, this day happened, and I went, "Nah, you've got to go
amazing tactics."
10 games happened. 10 games happened, then it changed.
I'm going to start with you, Lubo. We'll get off of that. I just thought it was funny, right? It's so funny, these people that just say these things. And then these are the people that if we had won the League Cup or FA Cup would be going, apologise. Where's my apologies? Can I get some apology? No, I don't need that. I don't need
Definitely not.
Again, a bit like my wife, never get an apology. So no apologies. No apology. Lubo, I'm going to start with you. Always remember this, please. Always remember this. Yeah. And always remember this. But that's not what I wanted to show you. Oh, and remember this as well. Looks a bit like Nick, doesn't he? He looks like Nick, but with more of a
twins.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Nick,
I glanced at that.
Are you brothers or twins? I mean, you could be twins, seriously.
I glanced at that and I thought that was Nick. I thought that was Nick.
And Royale.
In fact, I've got to tell you, Nick, were you on We Are Tottenham TV?
When?
Did I hear someone say someone was on We Are Tottenham TV? That's on the panel now.
No, it was Danny yesterday with Jim from Oso Spurs. Yesterday.
Okay, because if someone put you forward, they think they were getting Ange on the show, wouldn't they?
Well, yeah. When I haven't had a haircut, it's Now I lost a load of weight, so look nothing like Ange. Now Ange has lost a load of weight as well. He's starting to look like me. So you know.
Reckon, watch Neighbours. Watch Neighbours. Get your accent right, and then you can go on, can't you?
Have a couple of cans of Foster's.
It's who we are, mate.
No, I don't think I'll get many bookings. Let's just put it that way.
Ben, if you're in the chat, could you do me a favour? Could you make one of your videos? And could you know that scene in Twins when Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito are walking side by side? Could you please put Ange's face on one and Nick on the other? Please. Please, Ben, if you are watching, Ben Kaufman, please. Nick coming on here, giving it large.
Nick, you've had it now, mate.
Well, I'm glad. As I said before, I'm glad I can bring some joy to this fan base because it's certainly not coming from the football club. The first bit of joy, and Phil P mentioned it, is when I turned my back on the corner. 1.4 million views or something like that. It was ridiculous because I turned my back on a corner in the North London derby.
And where's Ben? Hang on, I'm just checking that Ben saw that. Is he in the chat? Has anyone seen him?
I haven't seen him for a while.
You're so like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, it'd be so funny. You're like a child, Savva.
Here we go. Come on, Nick. Come on.
Actually,
because I said
I'm getting autographs at Hotspur Way of my lookalike. Oh,
I'm not getting autographs.
Maybe you could secretly sneak into a match and manage the team.
Yeah,
Ben,
everyone down the tunnel.
Ben may actually be. Ben may actually be selling coffee. He may actually be selling coffee at the moment, which may be his job.
Do you reckon I should try it? Southampton, try and. What I need to do is maybe this is a thing. This could be a thing, right? I need to get the old tracksuit on, and then be there for Southampton at the protest, and then it looks like Ange's at the protest as well.
Absolutely.
That'd be brilliant. Then just like Ange out over the top of your head.
Absolutely, definitely. That would be in all the papers, Nick. That would be brilliant. Exactly. Can you imagine?
To be
fair, I'm printing it out. I'm bringing it up to Southampton. The police sack me son. I'm just going to stand there and take a picture.
Yeah, do it. Bring it.
At least Ange didn't rate Emerson Royale, so I'd rather have Ange than Nick in charge of Spurs. So
he's having brought back.
Winning trophies isn't for everyone, Savva. You know.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, you can talk about Poch all you like, but Emerson did more than him as well. So
we've won enough trophies this season.
Pochettino's won trophies.
Not recently. Not as recent as Emerson Royale.
Just ignore it.
We have won trophies this season.
Ben didn't see
one by one cup.
This Poch loving, by the way, Mark, has got to stop. This is worse than the Ange loving, mate. Come on.
I certainly don't love him. Goodness gracious.
If anybody
not you, I'm saying the Ange lovers. You're a Poch lover. And
I am.
Ange lovers. But come on.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Poch lover.
Poch back.
I'm not even a Poch lover. You've got to remember that this manager is so bad. It's so bad. It's like me saying now, no, actually, I won't say that. My wife will kill me. You know, this manager is so bad that I'm now a Poch lover, if that makes sense. He's so bad that the manager I didn't want back, I'm going, oh, please come back. Please come back.
Who was the one with the travel card that turned up with a tube ticket?
Christian Gross.
Well, to be honest, Ange is that bad. I love Christian Gross now.
I got an idea. I'll be back.
You know? I mean, Ange is that terrible that Christian Gross looks good.
I think we're going to go and put a suit on and act like a certain manager that we have in charge at the moment. All right, out the please sack me sign himself. You watch
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
There he is.
What a manager! Yes.
I'd have him back. I'd have him back now.
Oh, me too. But moving on, Lubo, I was going to ask you a question about 5 hours ago. Big up, Ben. Get it sorted.
He's here.
Has he done it?
Has he done it? Please tell me he's done it. I've got to see this.
Oh, Nick,
wait for him to come back.
Give me a few minutes to send it to my YouTube and upload it.
Why can't I see it?
I love Ben. Before we talk about anything remotely serious, hang on.
Got fired.
Oh no, he should do it with the door scene out of Titanic.
Oh, here he is.
The door scene out of Titanic could be even better.
It's
we'll never let go, Jack.
Here we are, mate.
If anybody sees Nick this afternoon walking down the street, walking up to strangers, going "G'day." You now know why he's practicing.
So we need an inflatable kangaroo, and I need to not have my hair cut as well. Let my hair grow. Let my hair dry a little bit. And then
a bit of a beard. A bit of a beard.
Yeah, a little bit.
Don't forget your boomerang, mate.
Who would like to watch the video of Nick?
Oh, you done it already, yeah? Okay,
yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't. I don't know how to do this stuff, Nick. Have a go at Ben. He doesn't have to do what I tell him to. Have a go at Ben.
Ben, please do it with the Titanic door scene.
It's the door scene. I'll never let go. I'll never let go. Here we go. The world premiere of Twins, starring Nick and Angepostecoglou.
Yeah, loose. Oh, I like that. Here, I got something for you. Here, try these on. Sunglasses. Yeah. There you go. Now, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Whoa.
I love you so much, Nick. I love you so much. And if it makes anyone feel happier, here's one of them looking like a dickhead as well.
And then another.
Deary me. Big up. Lubo, let's get back to some form of football. Big up to the 400 people inside watching this craziness. Only 180 likes. Let's smash that button. And we are, as I said, I'm just over 104 away now from 17,000. Please do smash that button if you haven't subscribed. The link I will pin in just a second. Lubo, I'm going to show you some things that aren't as funny as what we've just been looking at, but are scarily true. Lubo, have a look. This is Tottenham Hotspur under Angepostecoglou this season. This is Tottenham and beyond. 27 defeats from 57 league games. That's since his first defeat. 1.17 point per game ratio this season. 15 defeats from 29. 4 away from our worst ever in the Premier League era.
Sav, what I will say to you is this. Don't knock it, because we're going to look back in a few weeks' time and think, I wish we were here.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. A 52% loss ratio this season. We have got to get 10 points from our last 9 games just to match our worst ever points tally from a Premier League 38 game season, which is 40.
And that's what we got last year, 10 from the last 9.
Right. So, and this year we've got West Ham away, Wolves away, Villa away, Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Forest at home, Brighton at home. Conceded over 105 goals in 67 games. He's lost 3 North London derbies in a row. In the last 20 games of the Premier League, bearing in mind there's only been 29, we are only above the bottom 3 for points. Only above the bottom 3. Only 4 teams this season have fewer points than Tottenham, and that's the bottom 3 and Wolves. And only 4 teams have worse away records than Spurs this season. And the one that I didn't add onto that, guys, is that only 2 teams have lost more away games than Tottenham this season. It's an utter disgrace. Just saying.
I think Harry.
And now you wonder why I want Pochettino to come back.
I want to know what Phil's going to say, because I'm sure he's got some positive spin that he can put on it, like he normally does. Yeah.
And just for the record, there you go, Phil. For you, this is the last 20 games in the Premier League. This is the last 20 games. Look at the absolute state of it.
At least we ain't relegated.
State of it. Oh God! Is that the positive?
Relegated. Oh my God.
I would rather be relegated and take parachute payments.
Whichever way you spin it, it's bad, isn't it? You know what I mean? The only thing that we can salvage out of this is the Europa League. We have a little chance. Do you know what I mean? We have a little chance, but it's been a shocking season from Spurs. It's been absolutely shocking. But next season can't be worse.
As long as Ange's in charge.
I don't think Ange's going to be here next year, so it won't be worse.
44 points, guys. We're chasing. We're chasing 44 points as though in some seasons this would be relegation battle. By the way, it's only because that bottom 3 are so bad, guys, that this isn't a relegation battle right now.
I don't think the players and the manager are playing for the league at the moment. I don't think they are. I think they've run out of steam in the league. So
what was the excuse before this excuse? Why is this now an excuse?
Me personally, as a fan, I would want them to go all out in the league and get some momentum, you know, to go on to next season and to get a bit of confidence in Europa League. But I don't think their mindset is like that at this moment in time. I think the league is absolutely done in their terms, and I think they're putting all their eggs in one basket, which is the Europa League, and that's why you're seeing so many rotation, so many protecting the players like Van der Ven, etc. So I think the league is done on their side.
Nick.
as I said last night on Dan's show, why can't we do both? We're Tottenham Hotspur. Why can't we do both? The league, concentrate on the. I'm not saying we're going to win the bloody thing, because it's definitely not happening. But
No.
why can't we focus on the league and the thing? We're Tottenham Hotspur.
I'll tell you the problem. The problem is the system doesn't allow the players to play like a normal player does in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course not.
There are so many recovery runs every single match. So for me, Mickey van der Ven, wrap him up in cotton wool, bring him out for the Europa League. That's it.
That's why you're getting so much rotation in the team.
Absolutely. And I've got to tell you something, Phil. Phil, apart from dropping both Maddison and Bergvall on Sunday, which I thought was an absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
I wasn't overly fussed about the rest of it, to be honest. What's gonna, win, lose or draw is irrelevant. We finished 17th, we finished 10th. I mean, we're going to finish somewhere between 13th and 17th, aren't we? Because Wolves could well catch us. So
they will.
I think it's £2 million per place per
3.1 apparently.
Yeah,
3.1. Okay, so I mean, Levy's going to lose if it's 3.1. Then he's going to lose 37.2 million based on if he finishes 17th, that's a 37.2 million pounds loss, I believe. Is it 3.1 by 12? Yeah, by 12.
Yeah,
it's
37.1. Yeah,
37.2. I mean, and he sat there and watched this shit, and he's going to lose 37 million pound, which is a lot more than what he would lose if he got rid of Ange. And the chances of European football, which would make up for the loss, he would have more chance if he brought in somebody on a short-term basis, like a Terzic or a Benitez or a Redknapp. So, he is consistent with making really shocking footballing decisions, because we have a chairman that doesn't know anything about football. So
he's not interested in football, is he?
No. He's not doing it deliberately. He just doesn't know. He doesn't have that knowledge. Yeah. So he carries on making bad decisions, and nobody will tell him, Daniel, I think you hold off, because they're all yes men. So he just carries on making the same mistakes. And this is 24 years down the line now, and look at the result. Look where we were from 7 years ago, from when we left the lane to where we are now. Oh. I mean, it's a shocker. What CEO who has overseen, forget 24 years, let's talk about 8 years since we left the lane. Seriously, what CEO would survive? Levy would sack Levy. Seriously.
So the difference, Ian, you're right, the difference fluctuates, but it's just, obviously, it depends on how many times you've been on thing. But they've basically I've just found something. Apparently we can still finish second in the league. I don't know how, but, that's nonsense. We can definitely finish, again, 20th is nonsense, but the difference between second to 20th is £50 million.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we've offset the players that we didn't need this season, so we say 30 million there, so we'll only lose about 10 million.
Yeah, so if we're 14, we finish 14th, it's 19.7, we finish 17th, it's 11.3. So, yeah, it's there, it's around 3 million-ish. Depends on a lot of things.
I want to go to that point that Lubo made about Van der Ven, and obviously, Phil, you made the point about resting players, etc. Stella and I were having this conversation the other day. The problem is, it's a really risky game to play, to say, just wrap players up and then wheel them out for massive games where they're not match fit, where they've not had any confusion.
No sharpness, no nothing.
The problem for me is, with the massive rotation, right? I think when you rotate 2 or 3 players, but I think you keep your main, you want your midfield partnership to work. You want your centre-back partnership to work. Listen, I get it with Mickey van der Ven, and I wasn't annoyed that Mickey didn't play at the weekend, but we're not building any partnerships. And the problem is, if we go to Frankfurt, which will be a bloody tough away game, please don't be under any illusions in that. That's going to be a bloody tough away game.
Yeah.
If we go there and go, yeah, but we've rested the players for 7, 8, 9, 10 days before, sure, but players, you guys have been around long, so players will tell you they want to play. Players want that momentum in their legs. They want confidence.
Especially if they're winning. Especially if they're winning, they do.
Exactly. I don't think that it's good that we turn around and, like, for example, we play, if I'm not wrong, it's Southampton on the 6th, right?
Yeah.
And then Frankfurt on the 10th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sunday to Thursday, if I'm not wrong.
Then Chelsea.
If we do that, I'm all for. I mean, it's Southampton. You could say that our under 18 should be beating them, right? But surely, if you're going to say, well, players wouldn't have played for 4 or 5 days before that, they're then going to have another 4 or 5 days if they don't play the Southampton game. You're asking somebody to come in cold after 10 games of not playing football and go, right, biggest game, go. I feel this is a real issue.
I know.
You're thinking about it, the international
training isn't the same, but it does help. Being out on the training pitch does help as well. It's not the same as being match fit, but yeah, I mean,
Phil,
there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a balance with it. You know what I mean? And it all depends on what kind of fixture it is. Like, I mean, Southampton, they can sort of rest players, but for bigger games like Chelsea, I think we should be playing our better players. It's a derby. I know there's nothing to play for in the league, but them sort of games
there is.
You want to win.
But there is
pride.
We've got to get this notion out of our heads. There's nothing to play for. Like, there is a quarter of the season to go. We've got 1 quarter, give or take, a game of the season to go.
I don't think they ain't looking at it like that, Savva. I don't think they're looking at it like that.
Do we not think?
Hang on, 1 second, Lugo. You can't turn a switch. We can't turn a switch of this game doesn't matter, this one does. This doesn't matter. That's not how football and form and
I'm not saying us fans don't think like that, but
not us. I'm talking about the players.
Right. Okay. Well,
the players can't switch flick a switch, can they?
Yeah. Personally, for me, their mindset isn't the league. It's all on the Europa, and that's the only path into the Champions League, and that's what Levy wants. So, in my opinion, I don't think they are playing for the league. I think they are just.
When did this? In your opinion, when did they stop playing for the league? Because now this is the new. Not saying you. Now the new excuse.
How's it going, buddy? This is really pretty tough. If I'm.
This is the new excuse for these players.
It's not an excuse, Savva. It's reality. It's reality.
Phil, they've played like this all season. Like, I don't understand what's different. What's different from the Fulham, Man City, and Bournemouth game to the games before that? Why all of a sudden are they not trying in the league?
It's got to a point where we can't even get top half now. So, being a position above or 2 positions above, what is the? I know we're playing for sort of pride and playing for, a bit of confidence within the team, but in position in the league.
Oh yeah, your mic, by the way, is gone. Just so you know, your mic's gone.
Yeah, so realistically, there's nothing to play for in the league for me.
But I don't get. Sorry, on one hand, we can't talk about a chairman and a manager that aren't good enough, and then have fans that are talking about we've got nothing to play for in the league. Listen, if a newly promoted club comes up, so for example, said this the other day. Let's say West Brom get promoted through the playoffs. Right? Let's say West Brom come up. West Brom, do we agree, guys? Their one and only aim next season in the Premier League would be survival. Is that fair?
Well, so it should be.
That's what relegation teams fight against, the relegation battle.
Yeah. Hang on. We agree, right? That's it, yes. Right? So if they're sitting where we are right now, next season after 29 games, they can turn around and go, nothing to play for. We're not going to get Europe. We're not getting relegated. Yeah. Tottenham charged the highest ticket prices in world football, one of. Mm-hmm. We charge one of the highest prices in the world for replica shirts. We charge whatever it is for a pint of beer, fish and chips, a burger in the stadium, right? Fans have paid for their season ticket. They've paid it. We can't just turn around now and go, well, don't worry, there's nothing to play for. The players have taken their eye off the ball. What about the people that have paid? What about all the money being spent?
Sav, when did Levy ever care about that?
No, hang on. No. But this isn't Levy. This isn't Levy. I'm not talking about Daniel Levy. He's not in this conversation. He's not the players or the manager or the fans. This has got nothing to do with Daniel Levy. Has it?
Not compared to just giving up. No. But it's like you said, Sav, when you pay the highest prices in the world, certainly this country, for a season ticket or a ticket to go to the place, and then you hear that they've given up and this league game doesn't matter, why would you pay your £80, £85, £90, whatever it is to go in that place to watch it? You know, and so all right then, if this is the excuse now that that the league doesn't matter anymore and we're just going to turn up and see what happens, should the fans get a refund on their season ticket?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Should they? Should they?
I don't think the fans would be moaning if we want to lift the Europa League.
Your mic makes sound like a Dalek. It sounds terrible.
I nearly got deafened.
It's like it's just saying. But Lubo, what are you going to say? Lubo, season to get older. You're a season to get older, right?
Yeah.
You've paid.
Sure.
You've paid. There's still home games. You go away. You've paid. These fans will pay. Fans will take time off work. Fans will spend their weekends away from their loved ones paying to watch Tottenham away. Mm-hmm. We can't just turn around and say, there's 9 games of the season to go. There's nothing to play for. Of course there is. What about players joining us? Aren't they going to want to look and think, well, hang on, Spurs had a good end to the season. They finished higher up. I don't understand this logic that everything's just done now. I don't get it.
But there is no logic.
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think there is how can I put it? I think there is an edge, possibly, when they're going for something. I think there is, I don't know how to describe it, but there's just an edge. It's just something that it's intangible, that the players will go out. They're going out in a European game 2 weeks tomorrow. And is it 2 weeks tomorrow? 3 weeks tomorrow. And
what are you doing?
There's that edge because there's a trophy to win. The league, I'm not saying they're not giving efforts, but there isn't that edge, that extra 5% that they will find for this European game. I think that's. I agree.
But this isn't new, right? My point is this: when Phil's saying, "Oh, I feel like they're not playing for the league anymore," they've played like this all season.
Yeah.
Like this isn't in the last 3. Like I don't know if any of you disagree with me. I've not watched Spurs the last 5, 6, 7 games and gone, "Oh, they've down tools." I've looked at this all season and gone, "This is how we play." I just
put it this way. Put it this way, right? You're exactly correct what you said. If this was Ipswich, and they've just come up and they were in our position, you could understand it. We're Tottenham Hotspur, for God's sake. So I nearly said someone else. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We're expected to be in the top 6 constantly. We have the facilities to be in the top 6. We have the income. We have the income to win the Premier League if we really wanted to, with all the bloody stuff that goes on in the stadium these days. I mean, we are not Ipswich, Bournemouth, Brentford, Palace, Fulham. We are not these teams. We are Tottenham Hotspur. We are Tottenham Hotspur. And so to say that the league doesn't matter is absolutely ridiculous and not acceptable. It's not acceptable in my book.
You know what? That fans that say that stuff, I've got to really question them sometimes. I have to.
It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Would you be sitting here as a Man City fan and you're 4th in the league? Oh, the league's done. No, you're going to keep going and trying to win every freaking game of the season. That's the idea of a professional football player, is to win games.
Well, to be honest, Man City have only been that for the last 10 years. Man City were
I
nothing.
know, but I mean, like
Man City were nothing. I'm on about the big teams.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like in the terms of all football teams, even like my lot of man versus fat on a Monday, we all want to win. We don't want to be turning up just to lose, do we? Or draw.
And
Is my mic a little bit better?
State the obvious.
Yes,
It's their job.
Yeah,
It's their job. Like, what do we? I can't ever turn up to work and like, okay, this is my work. Imagine I came on stream and just sat here like this for the whole 90 minutes, the whole hour, 2-hour show, just sat here and let you lot talk.
I would do that.
But like,
no, but I know what you mean.
This is their job,
isn't it?
This is their job. People are saying there's no difference between 4th and 14th. Well, there's £3 million difference in between every league position, right? 3 million.
That's 30 million. That's 30 million.
Right.
30
so
million.
from a financial point of view, there is. Also, look at players that will want to look at us in the summer and say, hang on, do I want to join Spurs? Well, hang on. No, they fell off a massive cliff. Or do you know what? Actually, they started to get better. What about pride? What about, hang on, we've had a shit season. We want to remedy that. What about we want to win games and put out our best so that when we come to Frankfurt and Lazio, whoever, that we're in our best form. Anyone who thinks we're going to be able to just down tools, play at 10, 15, 20% less, and then suddenly turn it on for the Frankfurts and the Lazios and the Bilbaos, you're having a laugh. You need form. We don't have form. You've got to get some form and confidence in the players. This cover's gone. We're gone.
No, it's completely unacceptable to just say, right, the league's done. Let's forget every league game. We're not getting relegated. That is completely unacceptable. For the pure and simple fact, people like Mr. Lubin that spends thousands of pounds for a season ticket every year.
Yeah.
And travels the length from Brentford and travels. Let's get this in there as well. Travels the length from Brentford. Because when was the last time you missed a game, Ian?
Oh, no. I don't go every game, Mark.
I thought you did. I do apologise. I thought you did.
I missed a game. I'm trying to think.
Okay,
no.
Lubo, I'll ask you a question, Lubo, right? Is my mic better now? Is it better?
Marginally.
Marginally.
Okay, I'll quickly get this in then. Lubo, if we won the Europa League this season, would everything else go out the window, as in league position, form in the league this season? Would that go all out the window for you?
I've got to tell you, so I'd be absolutely over the moon if we won a trophy and I'd celebrate. But at the end of the day, you just got to look at the big picture and you got to think to yourself, that's great. You know, teams can win cups. Teams can be lower. You know, Wigan won the FA Cup. I think they went down the same year, didn't they?
Yes.
They did, yeah.
Portsmouth won the FA Cup.
The following Tuesday.
Portsmouth won the FA Cup.
If you're a Wigan fan and you said to one of their fans, would you take relegation to win the FA Cup? Of course they would, but the expectations at Spurs are so much higher, and we shouldn't be anywhere near where we are in the league.
No.
And this has been painful, bar a few moments for the last 16 months. This has been really painful, and we're heading down. You know, the league form month by month is getting worse.
Why can't there be a scenario where, if we do get over the line in the Europa League and win the trophy, can't we sack Ange anyway, regardless of him winning that trophy? And then going for a different manager like Poch, you know, to carry on.
He would probably keep him for the year, maybe, and making sure Poch comes in the following year. But as I said, if we keep him next season, the chances are we will end up in a relegation dogfight.
Well, here you go. Lee asked this earlier. I saved it. I pinned it. He said, for the panel, Stell said if Ange wins the Europa League, he would give him another year. I wouldn't. What's the panel's thoughts? You know my thoughts?
I wouldn't.
No.
I'd get rid of him now.
If he wins it, I'd get someone in like Iraola or Poch again to take over that mantle.
I must tell you so. If he wins it, then we'll get a better quality of manager because they're walking into a Champions League season, aren't they?
Yeah.
But if he wins it, we all know he's staying, right?
That's the problem. That is the problem. You know, you look at
right
it
now, going mad, going, oh, you'd get rid of a manager that wins you your first European trophy in 40 years. Yes, because do you know what? Because the European games are every now and then. the league games are every bloody week.
That's your bread and butter.
And I can't watch this for another year.
How many years has he got left on his contract? Has he got 2 more years?
2 more years.
Two after this. Two after this.
Careful what you say. Angie's back. Angie's back.
Guess who's back? Good game.
Hey guys, we ain't going to win it, so it don't matter, mate. We're not going to win it, mate.
He's been away practicing, hasn't he?
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, mate. I stumbled into the job.
No, Savva, we ain't going to win this Europa League. Let's be real.
Hang on, I agree. Not one part of me thinks we're going to win it. However, there are things happen in cups, and we could, right? That anyone in that's still in it can win it. But
whilst we're in it, there's still a chance.
I truly believe Frankfurt will take us to the cleaners at their ground. What Frankfurt do, they're not an amazing team, but they score goals. And I was watching Stell the other night, and he was spot on when he said about this. He said, if you look, a lot of the teams we play can't punish us. They don't have goal scorers, right? If you look at a lot of them, hence why this exists, everybody, right? Hence why the lost by 1 goal trophy exists, right? A team like Frankfurt, if they get ahead of steam and start having a 10, 15, 20-minute spell like most teams do against us, where they overload, they will punish us. They will punish us because we are not set up to cope with it. We are not set up to cope with these teams with good players. We're not.
In the Champions League, when we had that run in the Champions League leading up to the final, didn't we have a shit end to the season? You know, it's pretty much the same as this season. You know, we had a very good start. You know, the first 10 games, and then we dropped off. But I think
we didn't have a good first 10 games this year.
Well, we had a good run. We had a good run, didn't we? We didn't perform well, but we had a good run.
We lost five of our first 12 league games.
I believe it was our worst start in the history of the Premier League.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of last season. Sorry, I'm thinking of last season.
You're thinking of last season, but you're right. But the difference was that year under Poch, it didn't matter how bad we were the second half of the season. We still finished 4th, right? We still finished 4th.
I know. There has been seasons where teams have had poor runs in the league and gone on to win a trophy. You know, it happened before. So I think, I don't think it's out of the question, but obviously odds are against us, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, look, what I don't say. So I've got another question here that I wanted to answer as well. Actually, it wasn't a question; it was a stat, and this is absolutely, truly worrying. That in the last 38 Premier League games, so what, an entire season, only West Ham and Wolves have less points than Tottenham. So that is, by the way, that's removing the promoted clubs and removing the relegated clubs from last season. So from the 17. If I'm not wrong, from the 17 ever presents last year and this year, 14 of those clubs have got more points than us. Only West Ham and Wolves, who have both had to sack their manager, have got less than us. Guys, that is truly atrocious.
Worrying.
That is
worrying.
That sums it up. That's everything you need to know about the manager is there in that comment. That's everything you need to know about him. No more needs to be said about the fool who's in charge of us. That is it there. That is it.
44 divided by 38. It's a 1.15 points per game ratio for 38 games.
So you're too positive, Savva. On your slide just a minute ago, it said 1.17.
This season is 1.17.
Yes. And so you're being too positive again.
Well, Lubo's called it. I disagree with a lot of what Lubo said, but Lubo called it. He said, if you take that first 10 games away last year, we have been a 12th, 13th place team for the year, for 18 months. That's what that's what he has implemented in 2 years. And the funny thing is, guys, for all these people, right, that tell me, oh, I'm now being told it's recruitment. Oh, it's recruitment. We signed poorly. Go back and watch that video. I said it was a good video Dave and Jack put together of all these YouTubers. Go back and watch the video and listen to all these YouTubers, right, talk about how we've strengthened, how we've added a top-class goal scorer, how we brought in generational talent in Bergvall, Gray, and Odeberg, right? Go and watch the video where they're all saying how good our recruitment was. Now they're all doing shows saying it's the recruitment, it's not the manager. I don't know what to...
I even called it back when we first got Solanke. One good season doesn't make you a top-class goal scorer, and I got called negative.
Oh, he's bang average.
I don't think Ange has improved one player at the club since he's been here.
No.
He has, Phil. He has, Phil. Solanke was his choice. Brennan Johnson was his choice. He picked Johnson. He could have had Kudos. He picked Johnson over Kudos.
You think he's improved them?
No, Lubo. Phil said, I don't think he's improved a single player since he joined. Not approved, improved.
Improved. The only players who have improved are the ones that weren't with him last year, which is Spence, Gray, and Bergvall. All the
Put
others.
it this way. I said this earlier. The only players that have improved under Ange is the ones that are naturally getting better anyway because they're getting older. The youngsters.
Yeah.
The youngsters. And that's not because Ange is doing it. It's because they're evolving as players. They're getting more older and wiser.
Yeah.
You know, so he hasn't done anything. Can you imagine Poch with these youngsters? Going back to Poch.
We have got, by the way, since the Chelsea game, take those 10 games out, we played 57 for 74 points, which is, called it 1.29. I called it 1.3, which gives you a season over 38 games of 49 points. That's where we are over the last 57 games since Chelsea on November the 6th.
Another
27 defeats, Lubo, in that time. 27 defeats.
Another thing about Frank.
Hang on, 15 this year, isn't it? Is it 15 this year?
15 this year, 12 last year.
Okay.
And we're still going.
57.
I'll ask you, if we didn't make the knockout stages for the Europa League and all that was left was the league, do you think Ange would be here right now?
No, definitely not. Well, historically, Levy would have sacked him.
Lubo, could you're doing this sort of thing. If I'm not wrong, over 5.5 seasons, Pochettino lost 34 games, if I'm not wrong. Right? Hang on. I'll tell you what. Let me bring this up because you guys will know this better than me. When I look at too many numbers, right? So if I'm not wrong, again here, looking at this, so the first season was 14-15 for him, right? And then the last season was a bit of 19-20. Is that right?
6-10, yeah. 17,
right.
30.
So he lost 12 in his first year, then 6, so that's 18, 22, 29, and then I don't know, sorry, 29.
On 6, wait a minute, 15, 16, 12, 20, 18, 22, 29, 29, 42 in 5 years. 42 in 5 years.
42 in 5 years. This
before
manager
before 1920.
So this manager in less than 2 years has lost 27.
Yeah.
It's about 40.
Not even 2 seasons. Not even 2 seasons. Not quite.
Yeah, there we go.
2 seasons.
There we go. Yeah. Poch lost 40 in 5 years. That's 8 a year.
Yeah. And when we're going back to the Frankfurt team as well, they've got a very good young striker in Ilya Hawahi. He's a rapidly quick young French player that I've been watching quite a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. The kid
is that Hawahi?
Yeah, Hawahi. He's electric with his pace. He's deadly on the finish, and he only ever needs Goetze to set him up, and we're done. Sorry, but yeah, that one player.
They've got quick forwards. They've got Etikita as well. They've got
Etikita as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
They got Batshuayi out the wing, haven't they?
That's why you need. That's why you got
Larson in midfield's a good player as well.
We've still got Mario Goetze, which is a quality. I know he's an old hat, but he knows where to put the ball.
Listen, I genuinely think that Frankfurt's a 50-50. Their form's tailed off since Mamouche left. They got 9 points out of 24, which is much the same as us.
Sorry, Tottenham Titbits. If anyone's blocked you, I'm sure it was by mistake. If it was me, I tried to block someone earlier. If I blocked you by mistake, I do apologise. I'd have no reason to block you. So apologies if that happened. And by the way, blocking and timing out, very, very different things. Guys, I want to end the show. One question to end the show. England. We've got just for a couple of minutes. Just for 2-3 minutes. I know it's only Albania. What's everyone expecting from Thomas Tuchel, England? And if he doesn't win the World Cup, has he failed? Because Southgate got us to 2 major finals. Surely the only reason you bring in a winner like Tuchel is to take it over immediately and win. What are we all thinking about Tuchel and England and World Cup chances, etc.?
I'd like him to be not Gareth Southgate, to be honest. Just play a bit more on the front foot, you know, and not make the same silly decisions that Gareth Southgate did. Yes, Gareth Southgate, we'd get 1-0 up and then we'd try and sit in for the whole game. No. Don't do that. And please, finally, to be honest, I think I'm cursed. I'm a Spurs fan that's English. And none of us win absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? I don't know who's worse. I don't know who's let me. Well, the answer is easy. Tottenham have let me down more than England. But my goodness, over the years, like so many heartbreaks watching England. 86 is the first one. Never forget Maradona. I hate you. I hate you, Maradona. And I will never, ever say that you're one of the best players the world has ever seen. Ever. After 86. I remember that. I'll never, ever say that Maradona was great.
What about when he played for Spurs?
He wasn't. Nope, he wasn't. He was horrible.
Come on.
Nope, never. You'll never hear them words that come out of my mouth that Maradona was great. I'll never forget 86. Never, ever forget 86. Broke my heart, that did as a 15-year-old.
What about when Michael Owen dived over Pochettino's leg in the World Cup in 2002 and got a penalty and we won 1-0?
Perfectly acceptable.
Is that okay? Tuchel was picked Tuchel's got an 18-month contract, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So
is that all he's got?
He's a short-term manager. He's picked a short-term squad, which is why he's picked someone like Reece James, who's constantly injured, who is never going to get a chance to build a partnership with other players in his England team. But he's the best we've got at that position, so he's picked him. Which is, let's
be honest, we've got the players to win it. Do you know what I mean? We've got the players to win the Euros. And
Southgate got us to the semis in 18, didn't he? And the second quarters last time.
I don't think we have got the players to win it. I feel like everyone looks at our squad and goes, it's brilliant. I think there's a really average bunch of defenders, and I don't think there's a lot in midfield. I don't know.
So when you get to two finals, though, Savva, you know,
hang on, Phil.
That comes to a mentality issue with players. Right. That's all it is. It's nothing down to
Phil. Have a look at both those 2 finals we got to. England didn't beat a single decent team to get to those finals. We didn't beat anybody of note. And in both those tournaments, the moment we played a decent team, we were knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Savva, when we got to those finals, the shocking managerial decisions in game cost us them finals for me. It was nothing down to quality.
I think, but the gap in quality lost us. Look at the gap in the final between Spain's team and England's players. It was a goal class.
Sav, agree with you on Spain, but Italy was
the Italy game. The Italy game was like that.
Italy we got cheated.
Nowhere near.
Certain player should have got sent off. Or
we should have won that against Italy.
How did we get cheated out of the Italy game?
No.
Player running through, Chiellini pulling someone down by his neck and getting sent off.
Saka, that was.
Yeah, Saka, yeah, but it's like Chiellini pulling the guy down by his neck.
Yellow at the most. That was a yellow at the most.
Yellow. It wasn't
red.
No,
it wasn't. Twice in that match when he gets sent off.
No,
come on. Listen,
regardless of that, we should have gone on to beat Italy in that game. Take the Spain game.
Italy were better than us throughout the whole tournament. Italy were brilliant in that tournament.
They weren't in
one-off game, isn't it?
They weren't in the final.
Phil, how many one-off games? When do England ever perform in a one-off game? Ever?
This is why I think it's a mentality issue, and I think Tuchel may be able to change in major tournaments in a final. Proof is in the pudding.
I just think England have never been good enough. They have all the players, but they just
they remind me of Spurs a bit.
They cannot play.
Hang on. Sorry, can I answer Ange on this one? We were good enough in '96. We lost on penalties, and we were good enough in '90, and we lost on penalties as well. If we'd got past West Germany, we would have killed Argentina in that final.
Yeah.
And we'd have beaten the Czech Republic.
I was more talking about from 2000 onwards, Lubo. We lost on penalties in Euro '96 and Italian '90. I get that, but apart from that, we haven't been good enough. It was always the questions. It was the Gerrard Lampard didn't work. The Terry.
If you
all those players over all those years, they should have worked together, and they just haven't worked.
Nick, the two finals.
Trying to get Gerrard and Lampard to play together.
The two finals that we talk about, let's just talk about Southgate. The two finals were the Euros. Let's just talk about the World Cup, because that's what we're looking at now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We reached the semis in 2018, and for me, again, Southgate reacted far too late when they were overloading us in midfield and taking over the game in the second half with Croatia.
Shocking decisions, like. Yeah.
That was down to Southgate. In 22, unfortunately, Harry missed that penalty. I still don't think, for me, the French would have, or the Argentinians, whoever it was. I think the final had Messi's sign all over it for the whole of that World Cup. So for me, we had a semi and a quarter under Southgate, and that's where I think we are. We're somewhere in between the two at the moment for the World Cup.
Do you know what I think we are, Lubo? I think we've got a squad that's capable of beating all the shit. Right?
Yeah.
But can anyone name me the last time England beat a proper team?
We can't. We only go out and beat the things like Latvia or Albania.
This is what I mean. When we're talking about we've got the squad to win the World Cup, played France, knocked out. Played Italy, knocked out. Played Spain, knocked out. Whenever we play a good team in a meaningful game, not a friendly at Wembley, England lose because of the quality of the players. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing up, it was Germany.
Well, that was the last big win, Mark, wasn't it? 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1. That was in Germany. Yeah,
that was 24 years ago.
Yeah.
We beat Germany in the 2020 Euros. This wasn't a good Germany. This was a German team that were collapsing. And then they then started a rebuild afterwards. Like I'm talking about when did Netherlands, again, it's not a top. I'm talking about a top nation at the peak of their powers. Italy.
Germany.
Oh, we do not need that squeaky pig in here. Mate, come here. Right. When did we last beat like Spain in that Euro final? The golfing class. I said before the game, people going, oh, this is our time. How did anyone look at the 11 of Spain and say, this is our time? Right? How did anyone like Italy in the Euros 2020? Italy in that tournament were excellent, the whole tournament. Yeah? We didn't
had them on the ropes in that final. We did have them on the ropes. And if we'd have gone for them, we'd have...
I thought we played well against Italy in that final. I thought we had a good game. I just thought the decisions
nothing for like 85 minutes. What game?
This is what I'm saying.
I thought the decisions by Southgate was shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
The in-game decisions from Southgate was absolutely.
We were 1-0 up in that game. If Southgate had carried on the same way, instead of ordering everyone to sit back and try and hold what we had, we would have won that game easily.
Mourinho would have won that game if he'd have been England manager.
Of course he would. Yeah.
Sure. But we can't take away from the Italians. They were absolutely brilliant the entire
tournament.
I'm
not saying they weren't, but we had them
They were fantastic.
I'm talking about that one-off game, Savva. I'm not talking about the whole tournament. I'm talking about the...
But Phil, this comes back down to momentum and performances. When you look at England, all throughout that tournament, we played absolute crap and got to a final. There's no momentum of knocking out good sides. When you look at the likes, Stanley, stop! I don't want that pig in my life. Right? Sorry, I got a squeaky pig toy and it's just a nightmare. When you look at England in the World Cup against where we got to the semis under Southgate, and everyone going, "Oh my God, what an achievement!" Right? Anyone know who we played en route to the final?
Well, we beat Sweden in the quarters, didn't we?
Right, and they were absolutely shocking. We beat
Sweden.
Sweden.
We beat Colombia the match before because did Dyer
Wasn't it
score?
Croatia? Croatia, was it? No.
Right.
No.
Right, hang on. Yeah, it was more of a rhetorical question, right? England in that tournament lost 3 games against the 3 teams that were any good, right? We lost to Belgium twice and we lost to Croatia. We beat Panama, right? We beat Sweden. We beat, was it Serbia or Slovenia or one of them? This is what we do. We beat absolute crap the moment it's against a proper team.
Yeah, England, no, it's Colombia, wasn't it? We beat Colombia in the last 16.
Yeah, we beat Colombia, Sweden, Panama, and one other in the group stage.
It was Slovenia, wasn't it?
Slovenia, someone like that.
Yeah. Slovakia, something like that. Yeah.
You know, this is what we. This is what we do. I can't remember the last time we beat a top team. Like, did any of you go into the final last year or whenever it was and think we're beating this Spain team who are playing everyone off the park?
I got sucked into it.
Mel made us look stupid.
I actually wore an England shirt to the pub. Right, and I got suckered into it. I'm never ever wearing another.
England and Spurs letting us down.
Yeah, wrong. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with getting sucked in, but deep down, if you remove the "oh my God, we're England," I just said Spain are going to batter this England team. And let's be fair, that final should have been 4 or 5-1. They dominated, like they absolutely pissed all over us. And one of them was a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid.
I definitely could see that one, but the Italy game, I thought that was totally different. Yeah. I thought that was definitely winnable.
We were shit
against Spain from minute 1 to minute 90, they were the better team by far. But against Italy, it was totally different.
We were the better team against Italy.
We must have watched a different game. I remember going 1-0 up, and then after that, looking and going, Italy are the much better.
We should have seen that game out. Should have seen that game out.
That was the tactics. That was the tactics of Southgate. We went 1-0 up, and then he decided to try and sit back and hold. If we'd have carried on,
manager wins us that game
because we were pushing Italy back before we went 1-0 up. We was all over them. We was all over Italy. But then when we scored, we sat back and we let them back in the game. If we'd have carried on playing like we were when we took the lead, we'd have won that game easily. I
love this. We would have won these games easily based on absolutely nothing. Like,
well, it is based on nothing.
Yeah, this is the look for me. All I know is Tuchel. For me, people are saying he's got to win because of what Southgate did. I just don't look at that England squad and think this is good enough to win a World Cup. Does anyone look and think, I know Phil does, but Phil backed Ange for about a year. So does anyone else feel that this is a good enough England squad to win the World Cup?
With some of the picks that he's picked, like Henderson, I call him Horrenderson. Why is he there? He's done nothing. He went to Saudi, grabbed his bag, realised that league wasn't for him, and went off to fucking Holland.
Corey, it's a short term. He's brought a leader in to the camp. That's what he's done. He's going to beat Albania. Is it Albania and Latvia? He's going to get 6 points over the next couple of days, few days.
Onto these games like that, I don't think that does us any favours whatsoever in teams like that. You know.
But he's not going to get. He's not going to be in the midfield, Phil, is he? You know, you look at the midfield. He's not going to put Henderson in. You wouldn't have thought.
I agree with every midfield choice apart from Henderson. I just look at him like you went to Saudi to grab the bag.
I don't understand why Gibbs White isn't in there. Gibbs White is in there.
He is.
White should be in for her.
He is.
He is. Gibbs White is in it.
Who's been taken out?
Palmer's injured.
Oh, Palmer's injured now. Oh, great.
Right.
I'm shocked though that again it's like when you look at that midfield, how many actual central midfielders are there? Like centre mid. Other than Declan Rice, how many that actually week in, week out playing like a 2 in a midfield? Or like, where's a Conor Gallagher?
Yeah.
Where's a
I
Wharton?
don't
Like
understand why he's
everyone
saying
there seems to be like Rodgers is an attacking player. So is Palmer.
But Bellingham can go into that role, can't he?
Can he?
Because
Have you watched him play for Real Madrid? Can he play in that role?
He can go into centre midfield comfortably, I think. In that position, he's more of a threat. You know.
Again, we're going to disagree. I watch Bellingham in central midfield. He don't do anything for me. But he doesn't do anything for me as a centre midfielder. But I just don't get it. Where's Gallagher? Where's Wharton? You know why? You know, I don't get it. Don't get it.
Like some of the defensive picks as well, I'm kind of scratching my head on.
I want to know where Jed Spencer.
Spot on.
I want to know where Jed Spencer's.
Yeah, Dan, don't worry though. We should have won that game. I know this is what I mean, Dan. Phil watches a different game of football to me.
No. Hang on.
They were all over us.
Hang on. When we took the lead, we were all over them. It's only we were better than them.
Watch that game. Watch it.
We were better than them.
No, after we scored that goal,
we sat
there was
back.
managerial decisions by Savva that ruined that game for us.
Yes. I agree with you, Phil. I do agree with you.
Hang on. But you hang on. When did Luke Shaw score for England?
In the first 5 minutes.
Fifth minute goal.
So we were all over them until we scored. What, for 5 minutes?
Well, no.
The game goes for 90, not 5.
Not for 5 minutes. I didn't say after we scored.
No, nor did I. There were vast parts of that first half where we did really well, but you could see toward. Yes, we did.
Oh.
And
David, go back and watch it. 100%. I'm telling you.
I don't need to go back and watch it, right?
I don't know what's going on.
I remember them having.
You've got Ange derangement syndrome. That's what it is.
No, if Southgate had not dropped us back and said, right, what we got, we hold. We won that game. He did do that. Yes, he did.
The thing you've got to realise as well is you guys only come at it from an England point of view. Italian teams do this. They will go under the cosh for a bit. They don't mind. Italy in that tournament were very good at going under the cosh in moments and then going, right, this next 15, 20 minutes is ours. You can't say because we were all over a team for about 3 minutes.
This is why I think we can get over the line with a different manager. Southgate wasn't that manager to get England a trophy. He wasn't.
He was
His
too negative.
management was absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
But if you have someone like a Tuchel who does win trophies and has been there, done it, then players believe in that. And I think he can get us over the line. I think we have got the players to do it. We've got players in clutch moments that can win big games, like a Bellingham.
Phil, he's brought in Henderson to keep it.
Hang on, who else? Bellingham. Who else?
Harry
What are
Kane.
you talking about?
Harry Kane based on what?
Obviously, there hasn't been history, but I'm not saying.
Phil, you can't sit there and say to me,
if he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, if Harry Kane's 1-on-1 with the keeper, it's 99 times out of 100 it's going to be a goal, right?
But Phil,
if
that's
that
not
happens,
the debate. Phil, no, the debate isn't how good a striker Harry Kane is. You said we have loads of players that have those clutch moments in big games like Bellingham. And I said,
it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet for Harry Kane.
1 years of age. So you can't use evidence that doesn't exist.
He's not retired. He's not retired yet, though, has he? Do you know what I mean? So it could still happen.
No. But Phil, you're doing that thing again. You've used a factual statement without facts to back it up.
His overall quality that can happen in a big game.
Hang on.
Golden Boot winner twice.
No one said he's not. But But that wasn't, guys, again, we're doing that thing where people bring up a point and then want to use all these other points to back it when it doesn't make sense. No one's doubting Harry Kane's a great goal scorer. The point that Phil made was we've got players that score big goals in clutch moments. Bellingham, we've seen him do it. I've not seen Harry Kane do it.
Winning goal Euro semi-final, Sav?
In the Euro semi-final,
rebound from a penalty, doesn't matter. He put it in, kept his nerve.
Rebounded penalty.
Rebounded penalty. Is this what we're doing now? A rebounded.
It was penalty. A goal in a big. Hang on, it was a goal in a big game. Whichever.
Yeah.
So a missed penalty that he tucked away, right, is now a clutch. What are we?
All I'm saying,
Spursy written all over your forehead.
All I'm saying is that Harry Kane has the quality. He hasn't done it yet in his career, right? But he has the quality to do it in a big game. I believe, when he retires, I think he can do that in a big game. He's got the quality to do it.
So I'm not going to have that. Do France have that? Do Germany have that? Do Spain have that? Do Portugal have that? Do Brazil have that? Do Argentina? Right. So what stands us out as we've got the players?
The manager.
I'm not going to diss Harry Kane here. I'm not going to diss Harry Kane here.
Savva, the manager has stopped us from winning a major trophy with England. I'm telling you now.
I'm not going to diss Harry Kane here, but you look at the next. You look at no. But for what I'm going to say, you look at the next big moment he had, and he missed a penalty against Lloris against France that could have put us through.
Clutch.
So yeah, clutch moments. I'm not dissing him because obviously we all love Harry Kane, but he has never, even when he was at us, when we needed him to turn up in finals, semi-finals, whatever, he never did. And he hasn't yet. You know what I mean? So I'm not dissing him. I love Harry Kane. He's probably the best striker I've ever seen at the club. I'm not that old that I can remember Jimmy Greaves.
But isn't it interesting? It's funny. Everyone's going mental about Salah this year because his stats are mental. He's been in 7 finals, no goals, no assists.
There we go. There's another one.
Hang on.
That's a pathetic argument, by the way. That's a pathetic argument, by the way.
No one talks about Salah the way they talk about.
That is a pathetic argument, by the way.
No, it's not.
Hang on, Alex. Hang on, Lubo, but that's a different argument. No one's talking about Salah with clutch moments in big games. That's not the argument. Has Salah had a great season? He scores bundles of goals every year. Yeah, the same as Harry Kane. But the argument was not, could he? The argument was, he does. And he hasn't. I know people don't want the facts, but that is the fact.
He's capable of doing it, Sav. He's the one player. I've got to tell you, without him, next year in the World Cup, I think, the strike force, maybe Watkins. There isn't that much after Kane, is there?
No.
Why are you talking about over Harry Kane?
The debate is not about how good a footballer Harry Kane is. Spurs fans have got to get this out their heads. The debate is not, is Harry Kane a world-class goal scorer? The debate was, Phil said, we have loads of players that do it in clutch moments. I've asked for examples. He can't give me one. He can't give me one.
I've said that he doesn't do it.
It was wrong by me. He has the quality to do it in clutch moments. Harry Kane does.
What was that great winning goal Ollie Watkins scored in the last competition?
Was that against the Netherlands in the quarters or whatever it was?
Yeah.
We need to stop. We need to get over Harry Kane, man. We're so can't get over exes. You know what I mean? We're just getting pathetic now. Even I'm starting to saying to myself, you know what I mean? Just like the whole thing with Poch. He started saying something. I love Poch. You know this, Savva, because we were arguing when we got to know each other earlier on. When I was banging to pieces.
Who's not got over Harry Kane?
But my point is though, yeah. We need to get over this, man. Harry Kane as well. It's just like he's still a loser until he wins something. You know what I mean? Seriously.
You know, and the whole thing with Poch.
Hold on a second.
Someone did a really good video, which is giving me some inspiration, by the way. The team that he made, the best team that did win absolutely nothing. The best team that won absolutely nothing. Yeah,
well, he's not a loser then because he was in the best team that won nothing.
Is that exactly? So that's why he's a loser. That's why he's a loser. And we need to get hungry.
Another loser playing with him.
This is why.
Alex,
this is why.
One at a time, guys. Please, one at a time. If I can't hear you, it means that everyone in the chat can't hear you.
He's come on. He's causing problems here. This box office.
It's box office, isn't it? He's the guy.
He's come on. He's
pausing. This is why.
Oh, Alex, what have you done?
He's got full.
This is why,
hasn't he? He's got full.
Yeah, make your point. Make your point, because Mayor Voigt wants to make a point. By the way, I'm waiting. Still got time. Time's ticking, bro. My point is though, right? Because I'm still waiting for the point from Ian. Bless him. Right. This is why we support and back bloody players like Bergvall and Archie Gray. This is where the club is at the moment. You know what I mean? This is where we're at. Say something silly now.
Before you came on, Alex, I was just about. Someone said, "What's Henderson doing there?" He's keeping the seat warm for Archie for 12 months' time. Let me tell you.
Well, to go and polish his boots at the World Cup.
Savva. See, this is what the club we deserve. This is the club we deserve, Savva. Sorry, absolutely agree with you now. I'm sorry. Just by that comment. Archie Gray deserves to get number 6. Honestly, I don't even know where we're going with this. Honestly, bloody hell.
I said Henderson's keeping the seat warm. I didn't say he's going to be number 6, but if he pushes that Gooner out, then I'll be delighted. Let me tell you.
Lewis Skelly has shown more potential than that Archie Gray has. I'm sorry.
Lewis Skelly
has done more in this season than bloody Archie Gray's done. All Eric Archie Gray's done is done some good little passes, like bloody Bergvall had a few moments, and then everyone's putting their pants about him. Honestly,
Alex, I'll show you what Lewis Skelly's good for. That's what he's good for.
Oh yeah, really? Oh, never. That's a red card in my life. Honestly,
2 cards in 8 games. Sorry.
So
I mean,
people talk about Bergvall being rash. Bergvall
is.
Twice in 8 games.
Out of his game. But Lewis Skelly's a very good footballer. Let's not beat around the bush. If we're going to beat him with just the red cards, if Lewis Skelly played for Spurs, Lubo, he'd be one of them ones you're waxing lyrical about. He's a very good player. He's a very good footballer.
Temperament is very suspect. Believe me. He's not doing Arteta any good getting himself sent off, is he?
Sure, but you know what? That's now down to his manager to coach that out of him. Right? That's what the manager's paid to do. Over the next year or so, he's got to coach that out of him. By the way, I just found this article. Just to see how clutch Harry Kane is. Can you all see this?
Just found it, yeah.
Right. Kane, I've just Googled it. Kane's unlucky 13 semis and finals. 3 goals, no hope. Hang on, let's blow this up, right? This is what I mean. I know people, I'm not saying he's not a great striker, but he's just not a great striker in big games. Look, so the 2015 League Cup semi-final, all right? 2015 League Cup final. 2017 FA Cup semi. The FA Cup semi in 2018. The 2018 World Cup semi. Then the 2019 League Cup final. 2019 Champions League final. All right, look at this. Here we go. League Cup final, no goals, 90 minutes. Champions League final, no goals, 90 minutes. League Cup final, no goals, 90 minutes. Euros final, 120 minutes, no goals. Look at this. League Cup semi-final. Right? League Cup final. Euro semi-final. Euro 2020 final. Where are these clutch moments?
I don't see
Savva's still got 6 years left of his career.
Oh, this is excuses now.
That's not the debate. That's not the debate.
Hang on. Are we saying...
I reworded it.
Phil, are we saying that Champions League goals, I think he's got 50 now, hasn't he? Are we saying that someone who scores regularly in the Champions League didn't score in the final? Okay, but
did he win anything, Ian? Did he win anything, Ian? Did he win anything?
He's won plenty of individual.
Will this season?
Oh no, that's not the question. That's not the question.
But
That's not the question.
You asked, has he won it? Golden
That
Boots
wasn't the debate.
is all over the place.
That wasn't the debate, box office. That you changed the debate wasn't whether Harry Kane won anything. The debate was, and Harry Kane's not the only player in the world with this. In the big moments, in the clutch moments, have a look at. I know I'm talking about the next level up, but have a look at in that World Cup final, Messi and Mbappe, woke up and decided, this is our final, right?
Yes.
In any final or semi I've seen Harry Kane play, I don't notice that he's playing. And
I've said this.
We always say that he's in lesser teams. You aren't in 13 semis and finals if your team is not good. You are not in that many semis and finals if your team doesn't deserve to be there. So what's he ever done in any of those games?
I said this. Harry is undoubtedly probably the greatest striker I've seen at my club. Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not old enough to be Jimmy Greaves. Because he is. His goal scoring record, Alex. His goal scoring.
Yeah, great. But still, did you win anything?
No, I'm not saying he won nothing, but I'm just coming to this bit. When it mattered in the semi-finals and the finals, he didn't score. He didn't score.
Does that mean he didn't?
There's 11 players on the pitch.
I'm not saying
11 players on the pitch, not just him.
I haven't said that. I said he is probably the greatest striker I've ever seen play for Tottenham.
Oh, hang on, right. The question is,
that comment there was, this is what we always do. There's 11 other players. Yes, but the 11 other players aren't put on the pedestal that Kane is put on. There's a reason. There's a reason why when Argentina and Barcelona, for example, in those games where they're having a hard time, everyone doesn't turn around and look at Angel Di Maria or Xavi. You turn around and you look at Messi. When France aren't doing well, everyone doesn't turn around and go, "Oh, Griezmann's had a bad game today." They turn around and they go,
Savva.
Hang on. Let me finish. No, let me finish.
Go on.
Right? You look at the best players because the thing is, Phil, what fans can't do, fans like you can't put them on this pedestal. And then when fans like me judge them against that pedestal, you then go, yeah, but everyone else. Everyone else what? Everyone else isn't the star player.
Savva, you're talking
the main man.
You're talking about Barcelona who win trophies year in, year out. Tottenham don't do that. Right?
Oh, that's excuses again.
There's a massive mentality issue.
Phil, that's not fair. Phil, listen to what I've just said. There's been many finals where Barcelona haven't looked good. And Messi will go, I need to do
and get
something.
over the line.
Yeah? And listen, I'm sure they've lost a few finals with him in, but the majority of the time you go, he's going to do something because he realizes these are the big moments where I have to stand up and be counted. Yeah? And this isn't about Spurs and winning mentality. This is about in those big games, at some stage, he has to turn around and go, I'm one of the best players in the world. Yeah. This is why. And he hasn't
done it. He hasn't done
that.
No, he's never.
I don't know why that's hated.
He's got 6 years left of his career to prove that point.
Yeah, but he's gone off to a Tin Pot League to try and win something, to try and prove that.
It's not a Tin Pot League.
It's not a Tin Pot League.
That's silly.
Come on.
Do me a favour.
Come on. No, I don't always win it.
That's just...
No. I mean, he go...
Huh?
They don't.
Corey,
this is where you're wrong again.
There's many teams.
We might as well say City always win it.
All right, it's not Tin Pot, but it's boring to watch.
No, Corey, you don't watch German football, do you? I can tell from this comment.
You obviously don't.
Hang on, one at a time. Corey, you don't watch German football, do you?
I do, but I'm a Borussia Dortmund fan, for God's sake. I've got a Borussia Dortmund shirt. I support the team, and we suck.
So say it's a Tin Pot League, right? We had this at the beginning of last season. Oh, Harry Kane's gone to a Farmers League. He's guaranteed to win the title. And then Leverkusen ran away with it.
What happened? Yeah,
Right?
That was
The same way that Man City, Bayern win it most years, the same way Man City win it most years over here. What's the difference?
Lesser opposition. Some of the teams, not all of the teams, but there
Based
are.
on what?
No.
That's my opinion on it.
Wrong again.
But sure, okay, but I'm asking. Sure, but now this is the thing. When YouTubers do this, my opinion, cool. I'm now asking you to substantiate it.
It's just the
better teams.
The division itself. We've got better teams in this league compared to some of the German teams.
Based on what? Yeah, that's not an answer. That's just the same thing you said, but with nothing.
Corey, I think the Premier League. I think the Premier League is more exciting.
Historical evidence.
No, hang on. I think the Premier League is more exciting, but then you get on to which is the most technical league, and we are not the most technical league in Europe.
Are we not? Spain is.
I absolutely agree with Ian. Absolutely agree with Ian there, because Ian's made a very good point. I was going to say that as well. You know what I mean? I don't normally agree with Ian. You know what I mean? So I've got to say that.
Still got to trade you.
Don't get used to it, Ian. Don't get used to it.
Don't get used to it, Ian.
Don't get used to it, yeah.
I just
agree with you on something, Ian. There we go.
But then,
last year, I want to ask you a question. Last year, who got to the Champions League final?
Dortmund. No, it wasn't Dortmund, wasn't it?
Which country did Dortmund play in?
Germany. Real Madrid, Dortmund, didn't they?
Last year, who got to the Europa League final?
It was another German team, I believe.
Frankfurt.
Bayern Leverkusen.
Leverkusen. Leverkusen, yeah, sorry.
All these crap teams, apparently, that our league is so much better than. We've got Nottingham Forest sitting in third place in the table.
Yeah.
If Harry Kane wins the league, I mean,
historical value.
You can't. The fans can't say, "Oh, yes, he still hasn't won anything" because it's a farmers' league.
Phil, I think where Savva's going is. I think it's where Savva's going is, and we talk about in clutch moments. The perfect example for me, outside of Messi, who for me is the third best ever player that I've ever seen after Pelé and Maradona. For me, he's talking about to bring it closer to home is Gareth Bale. Bale did it he did it in the big moments.
Yes. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Much better than Thierry Henry, let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, Frank won the Europa League. Sorry, Corey, I normally agree with most of what you say, but I don't like this whole notion that every other league is crap and England is amazing. We're sitting there right now. Our representatives in the Champions League are Aston Villa, right? Who's their first time ever in the Champions League, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Where's Man City? Where's Liverpool? For this amazing league that we've got, we're not doing that well in the European competitions, are we? Right.
No.
Well, actually, Sav, we've got 5 out of the last 24.
In what?
In the competitions. In the 3 competitions, we've got 5 out of the last 24.
Sure. Chelsea will win theirs, sure.
Yeah.
If Chelsea don't
Chelsea are the strongest team in that
bracket. So take that out, take that competition out. There's 4 out of 16 in the last.
Sure,
which is about where we are. We're one of the big 4 leagues, let's say. With Italy, Spain, and Germany, and England are the 4 strongest leagues.
Yeah,
of course. But do any of you watch Premier League games every weekend and go, "God, what an amazing league we've got"?
No.
I look at it and go, "No one can defend. Like no one can defend anymore. It just seems really, really poor." Why are these other leagues always so vilified? I don't get it.
I think the rules. I think the way the refs have changed the rules. They don't allow defending anymore. It's tracking and covering now, and trying to think a yard ahead of the next person. So you're
watch La Liga. Watch the defending in La Liga.
I'm talking about here. I'm talking about Premier League here.
Yeah.
They don't allow defenders to defend. If you used to get tackling, and if unfortunately you carried through and caught somebody, that was just the nature of the game. You're going in for a ball. You're only going for the ball. You're not going for the other man. You catch the other guy accidentally. You can get sent off these days. It's ridiculous. It's gone so far the other way that people don't tackle anymore. They've taken tackling out the game. There's a real art to it, and they've killed it.
I I agree
The
with
last
that.
of the good
I just-
defenders I remember is Maldini. That's just me growing up. And then you got Rio
You got
and
Collini.
Stanovic,
Oh, there's
Collini.
loads of top centre halves, isn't there?
I mean,
Savva.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
talking about like playing, like if there's anything in England, the last decent centre back pairing I can think of is literally Rio and Vidic.
Yeah, they were very good.
mean,
But
look, they-
Sam, did you see?
Jan and Toby.
Did you
Jan
see
and
Real
Toby,
Tottenham's
yeah.
TV interview with
Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp?
Yes.
And
I-
he compared his side to what is it to the side right now.
Yeah,
And I think only one player from this year, from this era, got into his team.
And he
And it
regretted
He changed that at the end, though, didn't he? He changed that at the end, Alex, and said Dawson would get in.
Yeah, it was Michael Dawson.
One player got in his 11.
Dawson's the cup winner.
It was Michael Dawson over Romero, and he regretted putting him in there.
And then what did he finish off the video with?
He said,
He put Dawson straight back in. He put Dawson straight back in.
No. Forget that. After that, he said it's not just Spurs. He said if you look at the players from then to now,
Chelsea, Man United. Yeah.
Which I
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
agree with him. Totally agree with him. I think we've
The
spoken
player
about this
quality.
before.
The player quality. Yeah, the player quality nowadays compared to the year, like the 90s and the 2000s. Hey, night and day.
Phil, you
the
got to
player
stop.
quality
Phil, you
now
got to
is
get your
the
mic sorted
quality
out,
of your
mate.
mic.
yeah, it's
dreadful.
awful.
Yeah, it's exactly why I think we've spoken about this before. We've spoken about this before, Savva. We said that the quality, and I've said this how many times as well. Like the quality isn't great in the Premier League. It's not, and I think entertaining wise, it's very, very good. I think this argument that the other leagues are not great, and I've made it my business now because I'm fed up hearing the same managers now that we're linked with. Right, I've done it my business now to start looking at coaches in other leagues now, because there are loads of Areolas in the Premier League, Areolas in Europe. There are loads of Thomas Franks in Europe. There are De Zerbis in Europe that our small teams are finding at the moment, and they're able to create and develop these sort of players that we had not back then, but we can have now. You know what I mean? Technical players, develop technical players. You know what I mean? And
Alex,
I don't understand why you can't.
Alex, look at the top 4 in La Liga and compare it to the top 4 in England, and look at the difference in quality. Right?
Exactly.
Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico, and Bilbao, and we've got Chelsea, who have won something like 3 of the last 12 games in the top 4, right? Nottingham Forest, who, no offense, they would get smashed on the European stage.
Yeah,
and then we've got Arsenal and Liverpool, and Liverpool were just dispatched by PSG and Newcastle. The quality is, for me, La Liga is the best league in the world. I'm sorry. I watch these teams in La Liga. They're more organised. They've got better managers. They're better structured. The Premier League is fast and furious. I've always said that. It's fast and furious. It's got more money. It's marketed better. But if you actually look at the other leagues, look at the title race in Spain. Have you guys seen the table in Spain?
Oh.
It's about 6 points, isn't there 6 points between them?
I don't even think it's that. 1 second, I'll show you.
Barca, in it?
The Spanish league. So Barca have got 60, Real Madrid have got 60, and Atletico Madrid have got 56. There's 4 points separating the top 3. That's a title race, right? Now, if you go to Italy have got Inter Milan on 64, Napoli on 61, Atalanta 58. So 6 points separating the top 3 teams. You come to, even if you go to Germany, it's
Bayern Leverkusen are really getting back into that title race, aren't they now?
6 points off the top. You come to England, one team seems to just run away with it. It's like, I don't know. I just don't think. Hey, that's just me. That's just me.
Quality-wise, it's better. It's definitely better in Europe, 110%, and the coaches are better as well. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is why I think it's been a big excuse. Why are Southampton finding Pochettinos? Why are Bournemouth finding Areolas?
Why are Brighton finding Deserbies? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's an excuse. You know what I mean? And I'm finding coaches right now. I'm going to do some research on them because I think Tottenham should be looking at these, should be finding these coaches themselves. We've got an array of resources to find these coaches, but we landed on Angepostecoglou.
To be fair to Brighton, though, not only do they have great research into the players that they bring in, they've also got the backroom staff when they're looking for managers. They have to. The managers at Brighton have to have a certain fit. So you've had De Zerbi, you've got the young German guy now. I can't remember his name. Before De Zerbi, you had Graham Potter. Before Potter, you had one of our legends being the manager that kept Brighton in the league. So you know the Brighton board know what they're doing when it comes to recruitment as well as getting players in. Whereas at Tottenham,
I bet you, Corey, that Brighton have already got their eye on managers.
They have. Like this manager that's in is only, what, 31, 32?
And you've got to remember, the person at Brighton was at Tottenham, who deals with a lot of their recruitment and that. He worked under Daniel Levy.
Yeah, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And so,
interesting, Mark, interesting looking at the table in Germany. It is a two-horse race. I mean, there's 11 points between Leverkusen and Mainz. I mean, this is a one-horse race with other clubs a lot of other clubs that have taken a lot of points off each other. I mean, here, Leipzig have dropped right off.
Yeah.
Dortmund have dropped right off. I mean, Frankfurt in the last 2 months have dropped right off. So Mainz have come through. Freiburg are in there. Who's heard of Freiburg? They're sixth in the table. You know, you've got 17 points between first and third in Germany. So, you know, the German league's becoming a two-horse race now, but, you know, with Munich and Leverkusen, and they seem to be pulling further and further away. You know, you look at sort of going into...
It's the same as the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, how many points are Liverpool ahead now? How many points are Liverpool ahead now? Yeah, it's 10, 11, I don't know what it is.
So the gap in the Premier League...
12 clear. Liverpool 12 clear.
12 clear. Yeah. Here's the gap. So Liverpool to Arsenal is 12. Liverpool to Forest is 16. Liverpool to Chelsea in fourth is 21 points.
So there we go.
From first to fourth is 7 wins.
I never see that high up the table because Savva normally puts where we are on there. And you can't see it.
We forgot what the top half looks like. Like that. Huh?
Can I just ask a question? Because do you know the Stuttgart manager? The Stuttgart manager? Because I've seen a lot of people that were recommending him.
Yeah, Sebastian Hoeneß, isn't it? Hoeneß?
Yeah. I've heard a lot of good stuff about him, to be honest with you. A lot of good stuff about him.
There's good managers everywhere, mate. There's good managers everywhere. It's just unfortunately, there's a lot of fans in this country who don't watch other leagues religiously. And then, unfortunately, you get people like Corey who just say it's a farmers' league. And
last word, because I know you need to wrap up. You want to wrap up, right? I think it's a mistake to go with somebody that we know, because if you look at history, right, all the managers that have been successful. Again, I do apologise to people that have heard me say this before, right? We weren't expecting them to do well, right? So maybe by that logic, maybe we need to start looking at a manager that people don't know, but they've done hefty research on. So then the expectations are not as high, and maybe because if you bring in Poch, you know what sort of things are going to happen afterwards, isn't it? You know exactly what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Even if he is a very good coach, right? We know there's going to be hefty expectation, and if it doesn't work, you saw what happened at Chelsea with Mourinho. You know what I mean? You know, and you know.
So are you saying then, in that aspect, you'd rather take somebody from abroad than somebody like an Areola, who we know's done it in the Premier League?
I'm not saying I can't say Areola, no, but I'm just saying that if Areola is not a choice, is not one of the ones that we go for, we can look at other managers that are out there, that are coaches that are similar to Areola, right? Because they are out there, and we can start our own start with a coach that, you know, no one really knows about, you know, and he could do a similar job to Areola, a Pochettino.
Going back to how we started the show, this is what Pochettino was when we come in, because we had
That's
no
the point I'm
expectations.
making.
Yeah, we had no expectations for Pochettino when he first rocked up.
But the thing about Poch was
That's the point I'm making anyway.
he had a year of Premier
exactly.
League experience, didn't he, Mark? So
Yeah,
Poch had an idea what the Premier League was all about. It
but we never
like Ange did, and look what a cock up Ange has made.
Yeah, there was no expectations when Poch rocked up though. He'd done very well with Southampton. No disrespect to Southampton, but they're not Tottenham, But the rest is history.
Europe though, did he? But he lifted up the profile of Southampton.
Of course he did. Yeah,
several of their players are in the England squad as well. So
yeah. But I mean, Poch, when he first rocked up at Tottenham, there was no one well, put it this way, nobody said, not even me, who's his biggest fan, said that, well, Poch is he's going to take us to glory. He built that with us, He was here for a couple of years and you thought, hang on a minute, we might win this league. All right, we didn't, but you know what I mean? He built us up to that level. He wasn't...
Again, to round this off full circle, I do need to end the show. This is the difference between a coach and a manager, isn't it?
Of course.
This is the difference. When you bring in a Conte and a Jose, you are bringing in a manager that should round things off. They're the missing piece in the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
When you bring in a Fabian Hurtzler, when you bring in an Iraola or a Poch, what you're saying is galvanize our team, build a squad, build a style, build an ethos. And at the moment, unfortunately, everything we just said there is unfortunately what Ange Postecoglou is not doing. Listen, I do need to end the show, guys. Daniel Harris said Italy had 61% possession and 20 shots to 6. Thanks. I did bring this up earlier, Daniel, but I didn't give you enough love for making it a super chat, so I really do appreciate it.
Just wanted to bring it up again, obviously.
Don't worry, Daniel. When we finish this, Phil, Mark, and Lubo are going to go back and watch a rerun of the final and see how bad we were. But listen, thanks very much, man. I appreciate that. Guys, I'll ask shamelessly. We are 102 subscribers away from 17K. Surely we can at least get the 2 that gets that to 16.9K. Please subscribe to everyone on the panel as well. Please subscribe to Sheriff, the 2 Mark show, and please subscribe to Lubo. You'll always find him on Tottenham Away as well as here, so please subscribe to Tottenham Away as well. Subscribe to everyone. Subscribe to Mr. Box Office. Subscribe to
my Twitter feed as well, my Twitter account up there.
And I don't promote Twitter. I don't promote it, but yeah. Thanks everyone. Lovely little football chat. I'm sure we'll do the same again at some point later in the week. Nick, thanks for coming on and being an Ange Postecoglou impersonator.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that just right. Hang on.
Yeah.
Payback, Nick. Payback. Guys, and in the immortal words of Daniel Levy,
simple. We've got our Tottenham back. That's.
We have, haven't we?
We've got our Tottenham back. So
with interest
in the league. Take care, everyone. As always, Ange out, Levy out, Lang out, Munn out, Phil Coys out, Mark out, Barry out, Corey out, Lubo out, Savva out, and Archie Gray in. Take care, everyone, and come on, you Spurs.